All right, here we are. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Let's see what our levels are looking like in OBS because I didn't have a chance to check before. Let's see what yours are looking like. How's Corey's levels sounding?
Testing 1, 2. I mean, usually we do this before, but we didn't have a chance this time. How's it going?
It looks reasonably balanced. It looks like you might be a little louder than me, but
okay. Well, I can always turn it down if I need to. Let me know if I'm too loud.
It's not too much too loud, but just turn it down maybe a little bit.
Okay. Okay, now it should be I just went a little bit to the right on the automatically determine input sensitivity setting.
No.
I turned that off, but I just manually.
Oh, I don't think you want input sensitivity. I think that's where it like cuts off. It like gates it. Like if it's too low, it just like cuts you off. That's why you were dropping out earlier.
Okay. Well, I guess. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think I can turn my overall volume down. Sure, I can go down to.
Yeah, just turn your volume down.
80%. Now we're down to 80.
Okay, let's try that. I think that might be about it.
Sure. We'll rock and roll with that. See how it goes.
Or maybe you might actually be a little too low now. So maybe turn it to, I don't know, 90. What was it? Was it 100 before?
No, it was at 85 before I brought it down.
Oh, well then let's go with 80. Let's go with 80.
How about if I do 82?
It'll probably be fine.
All right. People are saying 80 is magic. So, okay.
We're always very loud. Games you can never hear. You know, for some reason, games are very hard to balance in OBS, and I don't really know why that is. You know, you can have plenty of levels, but then people say they don't really hear it. But then if you move it too much higher, then it's too loud. I mean,
you can turn on like there's tough. An auto ducking or something like that.
Oh, but you don't want that. I don't think.
Right.
That would be bad. You know, I saw before the stream started, so someone calling me out on my choice of game here. Yeah, some people have said, "Oh, try always picks boring games," but then there's a lot of people who likes these choices. You know, I think Bomberman 64 is well loved by a certain set of the Bomberman and N64 fandoms.
Bomberman.
Actually, one of the reasons, I mean, there's actually several reasons I wanted to stream this tonight, why it jumped to mind to stream tonight. One was our friend 8-Bit Duke released just a few days ago a Bomberman Hero video, which I streamed Bomberman Hero a few years ago, and I really liked it. I played Bomberman 64 at a friend's house several times back in the day. Probably actually the Bomberman game that I've played the most in multiplayer, which is not a lot. I've never been like that big into the multiplayer aspect of Bomberman. I've really never been like a huge Bomberman fan in general, but like in more recent years, I've started finding their single player modes to be very laid back and comfy to play. But that's an adjective you've been using for games lately, and I feel like I've been using it a lot too because I like the idea of considering a game to be comfy.
It's just an easy, nice thing to play.
Yeah. The other reason I wanted to play it was because the MLiG Game Club on our Discord channel, which I actually just recorded a little podcast with them this afternoon that was going over the games that they picked for November and December, which was DuckTales / DuckTales Remastered and Nights / Christmas Nights. That was a fun thing to record, but they wanted to pick a Bomberman game for January, which they picked Saturn Bomberman, but I've beaten that before. I beat it on emulator actually. But I thought I'd play something Bomberman related. They picked it because some of y'all might be aware of this, but there was a person in the community who Will Carpenter who passed away last month. He went by the name Pixel Kaiser in various places. He was Pixel Kaiser on our Discord channel, and just a long time supporter of the channel. He actually was a Backloggery member first, and there weren't a lot of longtime MLiG viewers who actually came to the channel via the Backloggery, which is where we where we kind of got started. So it just just such a genuinely nice, incredibly supportive person in the community. He ran a comic shop in Florida, I believe. So that's it's really sad. But he had most recently he had been using like a 16-bit Tails avatar, but most of the time I visualized him with his little Bomberman head avatar. So that's why the game club wanted to pick a Bomberman game for January. So this is in part an honor to him, but I guess I'll go ahead and get going here.
Do it.
I've played a bit into the adventure on this before. I actually haven't owned it myself that long.
Bring up the Streamlabs because there was a donation before we were on here. From Chris Fratz, I believe. I need to.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was.
Need to look it up here so I can read what it said. $5 from Chris Fratz, saying, "Hey Coury and Try, I want to say thank you for mentioning Sayonara Wild Hearts in the 2020 video. I played through it in one go and it was great." So. I talked a little bit before. I guess I was talking to Tribe before, saying like I think that people might be annoyed that I picked that as maybe my favorite game of the year. But the reception to that idea has been a lot more positive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I honestly had never seen it in action until I saw it in your segment of the video, and even I, was like, oh, like there's like a lot of like cool arcadey actions and neat visual flair to it. Like it was a lot more interesting looking than I thought it would be too. There was a lot of positive reception to that pick. And you were all nervous about you at one point in your script. I saw it in your script, but you cut it out of the final version. I like the way you put it. You said a lot. You said I don't know how a lot of people are if a lot of people are gonna be annoyed by me picking one of them their feeling games.
Yeah. Yeah, I took that out because I thought maybe it just like I don't know. Like I spent the entire time games. like my whole bit about the game was basically talking about like how it made me feel.
Yeah. Well, that line kind of reminds me of what that bit in the Dragon Quest X part I did where I said I didn't know that you could get away with just making an MMO or plain old regular JRPG, but they'd already gone and did it.
I recorded the line. I have it, but I just didn't. I just cut it out from the final part.
You were kind of, your volume was kind of swaying there for a moment. I don't know if you were moving about or something.
I'm not. Like I think it's okay. It's okay.
One of the funniest things in the comments for me was this is just something I never thought about. There were so many comments commenting on me saying Insomniac instead of Insomniac. And I never I never thought about how I say that weird. And I was actually at my parents' house I was at my parents' house this past weekend, and I asked my mom and dad separately. I said, "How do you say the word when you can't sleep?" And they both like immediately said insomnia with an S sound.
Oh, yeah.
And like because I thought, well, maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe it's no. It seems like it's just me. I just say insomniac. And I never thought about it. Like it's a weird word. Like
say it that way. Besides you,
it's.
I assumed it was like a regional thing, but I've always said insomniac.
I never thought about it. I mean, it's an awkward word. I mean, a lot of times I feel like words that I learned when I was younger and like maybe I had a hard time saying it. Like just I'd never evolved my way of saying it, you know?
Yeah, it's possible. It's fine. Cheesemeister says if you're an insomniac, you don't get any Z's.
And there you go. I'm putting the Z's in the insomnia.
Says, I hope you'll give PSO New Genesis a fresh look, since it'll be a fresh new experience where the content should not be as overwhelming. And I definitely plan on it. I don't really know too much about the new Genesis upgrade or the expansion, but I definitely plan on going back to it. It's just everything moved really fast, and when I recorded that footage, I kind of realized that I didn't do any of the story stuff, and I tried to do some story stuff, but it's just like cutscenes, and that's basically it. Maybe I just didn't play enough of the story stuff, so maybe I should go back in and play story content. But I mean, they're almost completely caught up on up to the Japanese version now. And they will have caught up to it in like 8 years worth of the Japanese version in 1 year, which is definitely hard to keep up with, I think. I see that Golden Cane is asking for any thoughts on Paprium, and I would love to give you mine, but my copy did not work, period. Like it's not that it didn't work with my systems, it was like flat out busted. It won't even bring up the mini game on a Mega SG.
Oh, did Joe release his video today?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny. Both of us yesterday like totally thought it was Sunday, because I like specifically like went to GameSack hoping to see the Paprium review, and I was like, oh, well, I'm surprised there's no new GameSack today.
Yeah, it came out this morning. I thought yesterday was Sunday also. At first. But his video is very good. I watched it, and I will tell you, it didn't make me any more excited to play it. I mean, his description was that it's good and bad at the same time, and I think that that's exactly the kind of feeling that I get from it.
There's
nothing wrong
with games being good and bad at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that's just I feel like that's exactly the kind of impression that it gave me. But I mean, I would love to. I want to play it. I've reached out to Watermelon with I submitted a ticket, so hopefully I'll be able to get a replacement. I mean, I better be able to get a replacement, but it straight up doesn't work. Like even on my systems that it's supposed to work on, like I just don't get anything. And I tried it on 2 Genesis 1 systems. One is a high def, one's non-high def. I tried it on 2 Genesis 2 systems. One was just like a base unit, and the other one had a mega amp in it. I tried it on a Nomad, but the Nomad does have the triple bypass mod in it. And just like for the heck of it, like on a Genesis 3, and it didn't work on anything, and it also did not work in my Mega SG. And even the systems they have, like the TMSS, like the TMSS screen doesn't even come up. So I just think it's like flat out.
That's crazy.
I think it's just flat out doesn't work. So that's that. And we'll see if I can get a replacement. When I get a replacement, I'll stream it.
Another reason this game was on my mind was because someone we were on Digital Foundry stream on New Year's Day, and someone in the chat said something to the effect of the Goemon games have the only good soundtracks on N64, which I disagree with, but they very probably have the best soundtracks on N64. And Audie said Bomberman 64 is the best soundtrack on N64, and I thought, oh, well, you know, I probably haven't heard that much of the Bomberman 64 soundtrack, at least not recently. And so I thought, I'll check that out.
The game doesn't seem that family friendly.
Huh?
Hang on.
What doesn't seem family friendly?
Someone was asking if my cartridge was rattling, and yeah, I mean, you can. I thought it was like a heat sink, but I guess I can just take it out. And thank God I did not get the limited edition of it. It's like this. It has this horrible cardboard box.
Ugh.
It's not even a full cardboard box. It's like a book cover, and like the inside it just like has the cartridge in this little awkwardly shaped. You can like slide it into this little like thing. I see that earlier. I know that he had sent a message on Twitter. Jordan Maddock was asking if the Commodore 64 Mini was any good, and I cannot tell you because I have not used it. So maybe someone else in the chat can respond to who has used it before. Someone was saying, can't you just dump the game and play it? But not right now, especially since it uses like
It uses weird hardware.
Yeah, it uses weird hardware. Probably gave me a locked copy on purpose, just like the locked out Mega SG user. So is it confirmed that like the lockout on the Mega SG is like on purpose?
That's weird.
It's not considered real hardware. I mean, yeah, it doesn't work on the Mega SG. It just gives like a little like fake mini game at the beginning. It's like an 8-bit brawler type thing. It's not even 8-bit. It's like something else. But I don't know. We'll see. No, I didn't get the Speedo with it. That's that's what the limited edition came with. I'm so sick of like limited edition packaging, and I really gotta want the game to get a limited edition packaging. Yeah. The only thing that I have pre-ordered that is like a limited edition is Ys 9, which comes out next month. I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh yeah, that is next month, isn't it? I still need to play.
Oh, there's a $4.99 from Rad Ranger. Thank you. Saying Happy New Year, MLiG. Like your channel. Keep up the good work. We'll do our best.
That's very rad of you, Rad Ranger.
So I guess at this time last week we had no idea that our year-end video was going to be an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
We kind of feel like it's a good way to. It's like a good ending for like we're gonna try to do like some smaller episodes.
Not like year. Always necessarily. I mean,
not always, but
like Frontiers are still gonna be long.
Frequent smaller episodes,
right?
Because we just are like, I think we're burned out on making nearly hour-long videos about everything.
But I gotta say that even though this was like the longest scripted episode we've ever done, it was it was really not hard to edit. I mean, I honestly had fun editing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it was nice because it was not a lot of B-roll, which is, I mean, really that's my fault. Like the whole B-roll situation is my fault because over the last year I've just gotten so into shooting B-roll and I have a lot of fun with it. I go way overboard with it. So I need to dial that back a little bit. There was $5 from EB Chill 2. Thank you, saying great videos always. Although Marc does break my heart a little bit each year, he doesn't mention Viva Pinata. Take care, everybody. Uh-oh, it's gonna be time to get back to the rare after Nintendo series. It's about time.
Yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe 2021 could be the year for it. I'm planning to do the Viva Pinata games as one video, and it's a little intimidating, I guess. What was the thing he said?
That should be your first video after.
Oh gosh, I don't know if that'll be the first one after that.
Well, why don't you play it while you're like working on it, or while you're working on Analog Frontiers?
I mean, that's it's not a terrible idea. I could definitely see doing that. Just kind of working on it a bit at a time. That's actually a really good idea. Maybe I'll do that.
You should.
Maybe I'll start it tomorrow.
There you go.
I don't know.
You should. It's funny. In response to the hour and a half video, Jonathan G says, somewhere Tim Rogers is laughing.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Who releases a 6-hour review of Tokimeki Memorial.
It's so
Which,
funny.
Granted, I mean, half of it is two complete Let's Play playthroughs of the game. But I've been slowly working my way through it, and I've talked about him before, but Tim Rogers has probably made my favorite videos that I've watched all year. I've gotten so much entertainment out of his videos that I can't get enough, and it's just like I've turned John Linneman into quite a fan too, and it's funny because I was talking to him today. It's like I cannot begin to even imagine like thinking about games on the level that he does. Like even on my best day, like I could not even come remotely close.
I mean, the thing is, like, he's like so like profoundly intelligent, but he also he just
like sees stuff and sees connections that I would never even dream of.
But the funny thing is, he like says so many just like things, like when he's like rattling off the facts of a game, he's always like saying like really like rote basic things about them, like Tokimeki Memorial was released on the Nippon Ichi Electric Company Corporation PC engine on November blah 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 blah. And like just saying like all of these, but like saying it in a way that just like even though he's just saying these like really basic things, he just says like so many unnecessary facts. This just like.
But I love his tangent.
He says in a way that makes him sound so smart.
Yeah. But I mean, he sees a lot of connections that I would never even like get to. And, as Jonathan Hinson says there, like my favorite thing about him is his delivery makes every single thing that he says sound like it's the most important thing he's going to say in the review.
Which is how you can get through.
It's almost like every line is the bottom line.
Yeah. Well, that's how you get through a 6-hour video of it, I guess.
It's funny because, like the more that I've watched his videos, I start to like think about certain things, and I notice myself like it like coming through in certain things. Like the thing that I wrote about Contra, like I feel like I only thought of that because like of being inspired by like the things that Tim Rogers says. Where I said, like I played Contra in 1988, but you could argue that I never really played Contra before this year. Till I played it without the 30 life code. Anyways, there was a $5 donation from Earth Prime 232 asking, should reproduction SNES/N64 carts be avoided versus original carts?
I didn't know that repro
really
N64 carts were much of a thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if N64 carts are really
maybe
a thing. But in terms of SNES, I don't really know if SNES, like the voltages are as messy as they were like on a lot of Genesis games. But
I mean, sure. N64 is probably not that difficult when it comes to voltages, I would imagine.
Okay. N64 reproductions are absolutely a thing. I just never really. I haven't looked for reproductions in a long time.
I mean, now that I think about it,
beer companies are like getting more into doing like I guess semi-official reproductions of stuff.
Now that I think about it, though, I've definitely seen. I've definitely seen at local game stores like Zelda Master Quest carts.
Yeah. Someone's saying we should have Tim Rogers on the stream. I mean, I would love to have him on stream, but I mean, I don't think he has any idea who we are.
I thought it was really cool to see the developer of Blazing Chrome responded to your tweet about the video.
Well, I didn't tweet about the video. Someone else like quoted the tweet or quoted the video.
Oh, okay, and he saw it. I mean,
and he followed us too.
I mean, I know that like he responded directly to the.
Oh yes, he did. He says thanks for playing it. Like I know that he knows John pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think that in certain situations where, like maybe we get like mentioned because like John, like mentions us somewhere else,
maybe
or something like that. I think that was in the case. I watched the interview that Victor Lucas did with John and Joe Redifer, and it's just fun because like we get like name dropped a whole bunch of times, like towards the start of it. Talking about like having all kinds of systems hooked up.
Speaking of John, we're actually going to do a bonus stream tomorrow with John.
Right.
On our channel. He because you always do every year that he's back home in Cincinnati. You two do an in-person stream together, but he's staying in Germany this year. But we're going to have him on stream, I think 2 o'clock Eastern time, tomorrow afternoon. And we're going to play PS1 and Saturn Grandia. And look at them side by side.
You're playing the game, right?
I'll be playing the PS1 version. He'll play the Saturn version, and he'll send me his stream. So yeah, look for that.
Yeah.
2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
Yeah, so because of the time difference, it makes it so it's just not possible to do it on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
this year round. So we'll just do that, and it's a nice little consolation prize.
Yeah,
we can do it. I'm sure it will be grand, Dia. But yeah, I mean, it would be a complete dream to have Tim Rogers on here, especially since him and I are like we're generally, like, I think we're like almost exactly the same age, and we know like some of the same people, and I think that we both have like that. That we were both like on gaming forums, like at the same time back in the day. So I think it'd be very, very cool. But like I don't think that he has any idea like who we are. Let's see here. There is $5 from Dominic Rinaldi. Thank you so much. Saying, is Panzer Dragoon Order worth the $50 it commands on eBay? I have the OG and remake and Zwei.
Wait, Order is going up. Order went up to that price?
It's crazy, right?
Probably because of backwards compatibility, I guess.
For sure. For sure, 100%.
Wow,
for sure.
It used to be like it wasn't that long ago. It was actually a really cheap game.
It was like. I mean, last time I looked, I think I got you a copy. Didn't I buy you a copy?
It was like $9 or $10, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like I think it was like $8 or something like that.
Wow, I can't believe it's. I mean, the answer is yes, but wow.
Yeah, it's definitely it's
worth that. But
my favorite.
I just can't believe it's gone up that much.
Yeah. I feel that the first half of the game is better than the back half.
The tricky thing about it that gave me so much trouble when I streamed it was I didn't understand how to power up your dragon, so definitely read up on that because you're supposed to collect specific items to
when you destroy different enemies, they give you the genes, which can level up the more you collect.
And some
and you have to be in the form that you want it. Want to level up when you collect.
I just didn't know what I was looking for, and I leveled up my dragon really, really poorly, which made the final boss take like 8 hours or something. So yeah, don't be me. Oops.
There's 20 pesos from Eddie Lockhart. Thank you. Saying, when will Artemio join the Sunday streamings?
He was on at one time, like kind of impromptu.
I know. I think that we need to just do a full stream with him. Like it's criminal that we have not done that. Yeah. Like we should just do it like in the next couple weeks.
We should. Absolutely.
It is.
Artemio.
Real.
I guess Artemio got his daughter Kirby's Return to Dreamland for or he told me Santa got it for her, actually for Christmas because she saw us streaming it.
Paul Sutton says that we should start every video with "Hello" and "Welcome to my life in video games." until Tim calls us out for stealing his intro, and he can use that.
I love the Pac-Man intro where
it's like this.
He brings up like his phone rings and he like looks at opens the.
Well, I don't think it was even him. I think it was like an actor to like look like him, like a young version of himself.
I guess, but like he like picks up phone and he like answers the call and it's just his face and he goes, "Hello."
Yeah.
Like you have to have real talent to make "hello" your catchphrase.
Yeah.
And not like a sarcastic, like "hello" kind of hello, but like a
it's just
hello,
like straight up,
like a straight up like greeting hello.
But if anybody is looking for more content by him, you should check out the stuff he did for Kotaku because it's really like funny in the same way. And he like really uses the NFL theme music from like NBC a lot. Probably because he could get away with it being on the like such a big site like that. There's $5 from Jonathan Hinson. Thank you. Saying, stepping up my focus on original hardware in 2021. Bought an OSSC and RGB decomp, a Japanese Saturn and mode, and a few HD Retrovision and SCART cables. Whew. Now you got a bunch of stuff to put together now. That's fun though. Congratulations. I mean, it's always fun. The mode. I was thinking about what game am I going to play first, and I was thinking about the mode, and like, you know what? And also probably because of the Tokimeki Memorial video, like I should just get around to playing Police Knots.
Ah, yes.
And I have the translation of it. I own the Japanese copy, so I should just play it. So like probably my favorite part of the year-end video was the fact that I could like show that I could start it with showing the old house.
Oh yeah.
And you know, like it was kind of like almost surreal to see like this room with nothing being in here.
Yeah.
And the way that I somehow managed to make it look.
Well, you definitely got some people hyped up for your tour video.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, it looks like it has more room now that it has stuff in it. It's true. It kind of did look that way.
It has what?
It almost looks like it has more room with stuff in it.
Yeah, well, I think a big part of that is probably because I hit the, or because the beginning shots were shot with my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was using a wider lens, obviously, for that bigger shot.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's roomy in here, but it's also, you know, it's condensed. So I mean, it did make me excited to do that the setup tour video. But you know, it's also kind of sad, like looking at the old house. And it seems very weird to look at the old setup. And I never thought I could do anything better. And I don't even think that this would have even been the way that it is if it wasn't without, you know, being forced to stay home.
Mm.
There's $2 from Mitch B. Thank you. Saying, check PayPal. I hit the character limit. Happy New Year. I can do that right now. Look at my phone here. Oh, geez. It's $20.
Oh,
wow.
thank you.
Thank you from Mitch B. Saying Happy New Year's, guys. Was super humbled at the Sayonara Wild Hearts pick. I was the one who made this $15 super chat suggestion at the beginning of the year. After playing it myself, seeing it at the top was a great surprise. Being a big Rez fan, it hit home. My 2021 suggestion is Florence, a great narrative about the emotions we place on everyday objects. Here's to another great year of MLiG. Well, thank you. What is Florence on? I'll have to look that up. It sounds vaguely familiar. But I think that what I'll, you know, I like the idea that I went into it without really knowing.
Yeah, you just saw it at Best Buy and you're just like, oh, that was recommended. I'm going to get it.
Yeah. I mean, the idea behind it sounded cool. Like the idea of a pop album game. So, for sure. Florence, a Switch and PC. Is there a physical version anywhere? Okay, so if it just hit the Switch, I mean, I'm sure that there is some sort of some physical version out there. Holy mackerel. I don't know. You probably haven't been following what's been happening with like cryptocurrency prices.
I
Like,
vaguely heard something like Bitcoin like is way up or something.
Bitcoin is like record highs.
Do,
right
do
now.
we need do we need to cash out of what we got in that account? It's not that much.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'm just gonna leave it in there. There's $10 from Craig Wan. Thank you. Saying happy belated New Year, dynamic duo. I just got done rewatching the 3rd season of Cobra Kai. Now I'm chilling with you. Have you guys played or plan on playing the Alet's collection on PS4 and Switch? I'm hoping that it's going to get a US release. And I mean, since Katsui showed up randomly, I'm hoping that also this will show up randomly, but I'm hoping more so that in anything it'll get a physical release. I'm hoping that Katsui gets like a full-on physical release. But I have 3 episodes left in Cobra Kai season 3. It starts a little slow, a little depressing, but around episode 4, it gets pretty awesome. Okay, so Florence is only $2. It's only about 30 minutes long. Okay.
Oh,
I will absolutely. I will buy that right after the stream.
It's a McBat 64. You know, I think I'll let some people down by not having McBat 64. And
I was surprised that McBat 64 was not on your.
You know, I didn't see a place for it, but I kind of do regret not giving it its due. It absolutely should have been there. You know, I think I mentioned that, you know, I did that backloggery stream that was just a whole bunch of Switch demos. There was another game from Diplodocus Games. I don't know if it was the same developer or just published by them. Whoops. You know, I have no idea if the continues in this, like if I have to redo the whole world or just like I just have to start over.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah, well, I hope. But anyway, it was published by Diplodocus Games. Not sure if it was the same developer or not. But yeah, what was it called? It was like Regina and Mac, I think. It seemed pretty rough. But it was very much
no McBat 64.
There's no McBat 64. I really gotta say. You know, I had to throw that based on the experience of that stream. I had to throw Jet Cave Adventure and the demo for that in there because that actually seems legit kind of fun.
So, in terms of the crypto thing, I want to say really quick. So, a single Bitcoin is worth $33,000 right now.
But like normally, you only have like part of a Bitcoin. Right?
Well, I mean now, but I mean imagine like if you were in it like early on,
sure.
and you know you don't think of it as like, you know, you think of it as like a single dollar. Like I'll give you 5 Bitcoin if you give me, you know, like give me a 6-pack of beer or something.
Sure. I mean, yeah, you'd be rolling it.
And now that 6-pack of beer is worth like several $100,000.
I mean, didn't people think Bitcoin was like kind of on its way down? Like it was kind of been there.
Well, it's gone down and up, and it's just interesting. I mean, it's been interesting, like watching it go up and down. You know, like I'll admit that like I have alerts on my phone that I can just kind of see it go up and down because it's like it just keeps on going up. Oh, we got Jimmy Hoppa in the chat.
Oh, hey, Jimmy Hoppa.
Is saying about to grab beat. Is today your birthday? Say about to grab B-Day Steaks. Just want to say happy 2021 to Coury, Marc, and all the MLiG fanboys, as well as the other or 4 fangirls, no doubt, because try.
I loved the Legend of the Valkyrie video, Jimmy. It was good stuff. You got me all teased for part 3.
If you haven't watched it, then you should go and watch it. And happy birthday, Jimmy. Good to see you in here. I mean, if there was any like if 2020 had like some good points, it was the fact that we finally got to make that video.
Yep. Oh, is it even possible to do those without a remote bomb? Like, it feels like it should be.
There's $2 from Reverse the Blood. Thank you. Saying a Happy New Year. I was watching the old setup video.
Man, that is an old setup video.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important that we do one this year because, as someone mentioned in the comments, saying it's been 5 years since our last setup video.
Well,
so I think that like a 5-year update is really appropriate. But speaking of like old episodes, I'm going to experiment with something coming up here. If anybody watches GameSack, you'll know that he's been doing the like the console crunch videos, where he takes many videos and puts them into one long video, just like as something essentially for people, if they want to, they can put it on in the background and it will just like play for a few hours. Like, it's like a really good way to just like, you know, put stuff like, just like have people check it out again, I guess. So I'm going to experiment with that a little bit. I'm going to call them MLiG marathons. And I'm going to put together various episodes into like a long, and it's not going to be like released as like an actual video. It's just going to like, it'll just like show up from one time or another. And also, I mean, I was thinking about like other stuff that we could possibly do with it. Like, I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be fun, since not a lot of people have seen like a lot of the video logs that we did, even though they're like available in that, they're unlisted videos, but they're in a public playlist. Like, what if I took like some of the best video logs and just like put them in like one, like a 3-hour video?
And really, it's for people who like to put things on in the background. Is really what it's for.
Yeah, and I mean, there's certain things that, you know, like, you know, you look at some of these old videos and a lot of people might not have even seen this or even known that we did something like that. So, I mean, it'll, like, we'll probably have a disclaimer at the beginning of some of them saying, you know, this information has changed since it originally aired. But, I mean, just for the most part, I just think it's just like a nice, easy thing for people to put on and, you know, just have in the background, or if they're doing something else, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to think about how, like, you know, with that, all the how to beat stuff, you know, there was a time, like a short period of time, like before RGB took off, that we were like the VHS guys, not the RGB guys. We were making like videos with like a VHS aesthetic. Yeah. Like that's how we ended up doing the Devil's Dare trailer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I'm going to do one that's going to be a marathon of all of the how to beat stuff. Because comparatively to like other videos, you know, most of those don't have very many views.
Those are like, perfect to turn on for just background amusement.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, even if you're not paying attention to it, you'll probably hear like something funny and you're like, wait, what? And you're gonna go back and like look at what was that?
there was it's $5 from High Def Hide. Thank you. Saying, just want to say thank you guys for being such a great resource for retro setups. I'm living the PVM RGB dream these days, thanks to your great vids.
Or is it the RGB PVM nightmare?
I think it's definitely the dream.
It's
for many
the
people.
dream.
As long as you got the space, I think it's completely worth it. Jimmy says, enjoy the evening with the fake but better IMO Bomberman 64.
Oh, you actually like this one better than the late gen one, huh? Most people who are aware of the secret Japanese Bomberman 64 do seem to prefer that one.
Yeah. But in terms of like the marathon videos, I was thinking that it doesn't have to be like RGB videos don't have to all be together. Like, would it be cool to say mix that in with like videos about Genesis games?
Right.
Or do people feel like it needs to be like the masterclass stuff should be like all in one big block?
What's wrong with putting the Genesis
and
masterclass video and a Genesis video and an RGB video?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I just like it's just a nice way for people to be able to check this stuff out and just put it on in the background.
Yep.
I mean, it's not something I would release if it's like, oh, we haven't released a video in a long time.
Yeah, then people would like accuse us of like, oh, this is all MLiG's doing these days. When it's not true.
But I think it'd be fun to do like a video just like on Genesis stuff. Like put the Genesis RGB video, but also put like just videos about Genesis games in there. And like
you can include the
Mega SG and stuff like that, like all in one video.
Yeah.
How about by console company? Yeah, I mean, I would. They'd all have a specific theme, I think. It's funny. We're doing that bonus stream tomorrow, but I've also been talking about I want to do like kind of a casual laid back stream with I think Chris from Classic Gaming Quarterly and myself are going to do a relaxing stream where I'm going to organize and alphabetize like my games because I really want to put all my Genesis games in release order. And he has like a lot of resources for that, so we're gonna do a stream where
I think people will be weirdly into that.
Yeah, it's just gonna be just hanging out, chatting, and talking about the games as I pull them. I just think it seems like a lot of fun. There's $5 from Ashura. Thank you. Saying, hey friends, Happy New Year. Who remembers the Slammin' Bomberman 64 commercial set to the Spider-Man theme?
I sure wish I did, but I
do not. Speaking of like game commercials, is the Final Fantasy III commercial online anywhere? It's gotta be, right?
I certainly don't remember one.
It's horrible.
Oh yeah?
It's just like Mog is like this like casting director.
Oh,
and like different monsters come in.
I think I have seen that actually. It has to be online because I definitely didn't see it back in the day.
It's a horrible commercial. It's like it's about as horrible as the box art for Final Fantasy III.
The box art's not great, but it's not like offensively bad.
I mean, it doesn't do anything it certainly didn't do anything to help sell the game.
I don't know. Moogles are interesting, I guess.
Oh.
Hmm.
It's not letting me. Looks like it's not letting me show the link there. Sure, like even though I'm saying approve it, saying error, try again when I try to approve it. Yeah, I mean, Gaming Blow says, hey, I like the purple box art, although the Japanese white one is better. And it's like the Final Fantasy VI box art is incredible.
Yeah, the Japanese.
As David Kenyon says, the Japanese FF6 box art is god tier.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
It is very good. I mean, I love the classic simple white themes that really a lot of Japanese Final Fantasy and SquareSoft games in general.
There's a link to the Bomberman 64 commercial in the chat.
Oh no! Don't get me! Don't get me! Don't get me! Can he actually hurt me? Does he just like knock me back? Which one has the Bomberman commercial? Who's linking it? There's several links.
It's Henry Clark and Venicera,
okay.
or had one. Like they both had.
Oh yeah,
looks
looks like
the same one, I think.
Looks like it's the same. Oops, something went wrong.
I know. When I try to approve it, it says oops something. Or it says error or something went.
Oh man, now my chat's not up anymore.
Aaron Welsh had a $5 donation. Thank you. Saying, is there any practical reason to get a Sega Mark III over a Master System? I'm just going to use an EverDrive either way I go. Is the Mark III the... No, the Mark III is the white one, but there was like the Japanese Master System that looked like the Master System, but it had the... it has a little 3.5 millimeter input for the 3D glasses like built into it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know much about that.
I don't think
it was
any
actually,
reason to.
you know, I saw
Mark III is probably a lot more expensive, honestly. I mean, I do love the Mark III cartridges though, but if you're just using
they're gorgeous.
Yeah, but the you can always just get an adapter and still get those cartridges anyways.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I knew that there was a Japanese Master System until I saw one sitting in the
and I didn't either.
M2's conference room. It was just like right there.
Yeah. There's a $5 donation from Saucer RR saying, love all the videos, but I do wish there would be more videos about games or series themselves, like some of the older stuff on the channel. Well, you are in luck because that is like something that we are supremely excited to be doing more of this year.
Yeah, we're going to make a conscious effort to, we've been saying like, kind of get back to the roots in some ways. Like, yes, we're still going to make, tech videos of the relevant, stuff that people expect us to do. But it's definitely going to be a conscious effort to, just do things that just random things that just strike us as fun things that we want to do. It doesn't necessarily matter if we think it's going to be the biggest video ever or anything. We just want to do something that's going to be fun for us to do.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to get around to doing that. It's going to have to be multiple videos, but with Ys 9 coming out, I really want to get around to doing like an Ys video.
Yeah.
Even like, if I have to do one for each game in the series, I think it'd be fun. Look at all. I mean, I can't even imagine looking at all the different versions of Ys 1. But I mean, it might be interesting. But yes, that is definitely a major priority, and also doing some shorter videos, because we've had some people saying like, these big videos are such a commitment to watch sometimes, and
There's such a commitment to make.
Exactly, and we just want we want to have a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, that is very much, if I hope that we will make the games we played in 2021 and be able to say we succeeded in doing that.
Right.
I don't know
There's
why it was so hard for me to find the path up to that crystal. It was really not that hard.
There's 7 pounds from
Okay.
Nathan's. I almost said Nathan's Hot Dogs from Nathan's Gaming. Saying, hi everyone, are you emulating this or upscaling it? Do you use the XRGB Mini? I love your work guys, and thanks a lot from the UK. And you were playing this with the Ultra HDMI, I assume, right?
Yep, it is the Ultra HDMI. So in a sense it's upscaled, but maybe not in the sense that you were imagining.
Oh, there's the Final Fantasy 3 commercial. Is it even going to show the game at all? Period. I mean, I guess at the time they had no
idea how to market an RPG over here.
Yeah, they didn't know how to sell it. Yeah, it does not show the game in action at all.
Wow. Like, I mean, you know, the Final Fantasy
at the
7...
time, it was arguably one of the best looking games on the system because it was like the one that used like all of its possible colors that it could display at one time. It was like the first game I remember seeing like
in action. It probably doesn't look that exciting, like to people who don't understand it, you know?
Yeah.
But like Final Fantasy 7, you know, famously didn't show the game in action either. But you know,
but at least that shows something you would actually see in the game.
Correct. Yeah.
There's $5 from Retro Boy. Thank you. Saying, hey guys, y'all enabled me to get an amazing setup. A month ago, I got PVMs on the side of the road, and I would have, without you, walked right past.
Oh man.
I need to know what you found. That's incredible. I have a friend who got a PVM from a yard sale.
Oh wow.
This summer. $5 from Lord X Musion saying, here's a small bribe to play one of my favorite 6th generation games one time out of the week. One time this year, or out of the, you know, like on a stream. A Zurich. So Zurich was, you know, it's like one of those it was kind of a launch window Xbox game.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? I might be into that. Now you have me disappointed that I saw a copy of it at Goodwill a few months back, and I decided not to buy it, which was very unlike me. Fred Northrup asking, you guys ever have MVG on? And he hasn't been on our stream. We'd love to have him on. We met him briefly at the at Long Island Retro Game Convention in 2019, right?
Yeah, no. He was on that.
He's such a smart guy.
He was
he knows so much.
He was on that Digital Foundry stream before we were on Friday.
And Audie was on his channel on a on a live stream with him. I would love to have him on. Maybe that would be a good excuse to play as Zurich since he's such a big Xbox guy. Yeah, an Ease video would be like, it's something that I've wanted to do forever. Just like we wanted to do a Wonder Boy video forever. Like, you know, we just I mean, that's something that we want to do, that like we're excited to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, honestly, like,
video, like even if I would probably have to do a video for like each game in the series, or at least do like 1, 2, or 3 games per video.
I mean, you know, it honestly, you know, it might even be interesting to just, I know you said be crazy, but like why not do a video that's just all the versions of Ys 1? I mean, you probably group 1 and 2 together because they are like.
Craziest part about it is like I don't even know. I'd have to.
I mean, you'd probably have to collaborate with people like Jimmy and
like
Audie might have a bunch of like access to some of like the weird versions.
Yeah.
You'd have to collaborate with a lot of people. You could probably get a lot of it on Mister, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there would definitely be a lot of challenging versions of that to deal with. But I was all planning to do a honestly it was early 2019 before we realized like we can't have any more distractions before like at least starting to get the documentary series, as we called it at the time, written. I started working on a video that was all the different ways to play the 2D Mario games, like all the 2D Mario games. And like lately I'm kind of more of a mindset of, we did the video, we were going to do all the games that were in the 3D All-Stars, but then we ended up just doing Mario 64, and it kind of has me thinking, why not just do it on individual games? Like, because Mario 1 on its own would probably be an hour video, or approaching
exactly.
it.
And I mean, but that would be really cool to see all the different versions of it. And I think that one of the things we've been talking about is like, we have to like get over the idea that these videos have to have like everything in them.
Mm-hmm.
The Mario 64 video was kind of a realization of that, where we were going to do all three, and it's like that's just not even doable. Like we could do the other ones as their own thing another time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's $5 from Mike Sherry saying Ys 4 has 3 versions, so that might take a while, and that's very true. But also,
Ys 4 has how many versions?
3 versions.
That's not that many compared to Ys.
It's not, but I mean, but the thing is, what we would look at also is, the Memories of Salsetta has a Vita version, and it has a PC version that was done by Xseed, and then there's a PS4 version that was done by Falcom, and the PS4 version, the PS4 and the PC version are like different.
Really? How so?
Well, yeah, because the version that Falcom did for the PS4 did not use what Xseed did for the PC version.
So, I mean, I didn't think Xseed had any real development in house.
Yeah, I mean, they did that one. They also did the development for the PC version of Ys 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is considered better. Like the PS4 version of Salsetta is not amazing from what I've tried.
I think that the PC version probably has more options to it, at least control options. But I mean, I don't think that the PS4 version is bad.
No, I mean, especially
it's only bad because it doesn't give you options to use all the shoulder buttons because they didn't it's based on the Vita version. So it's okay, your L and R and L2 and R2 do the same thing.
I kind of can't believe throwing a bomb into that open window actually did something.
There's also $9.99 from Terminal Philosophy. Thank you. Saying, please consider streaming Cybernator in 2021. I also support the idea of game-focused episodes. Maybe try to do a Super Mario RPG episode.
Ooh, you know what?
A Lunar series retrospective video.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually kind of considered streaming Mario RPG tonight, just because I had the box art in the year-end video when I was introducing Origami King, and that is something I want to do sometime. I just want to it's been so long since, like, I played through that game so many times as a teenager, so many times, but I haven't played it in a long time, and I would love to see, like, how far could I get in the span of a stream.
Yeah,
that's definitely something I want to do sometime. But yeah, Mario RPG.
We've been talking about doing a Lunar video for a long time. Like, I would do the Sega CD version, and you would do the PS1 version.
That's actually, I feel like that's something that we are possibly even likely to do this coming year. Because, like, I've really said that, like, after I got the PS1 digital, like, I wanted to kind of make Lunar, like, playing Lunar 1 and 2 back-to-back a priority, which was something I kind of talked about. Like, I'm even more excited to do it because I kind of talked about in the games we played in 2020 video that, like, I kind of discovered, like, oh, like, I really like playing games in a series, like, back-to-back, and just keeping your momentum up with the series feels good. Well,
if I I would replay the second one. And I would definitely be playing the unworked version because I have no desire to play the
well, you'll obviously have to
mention
again, like, what the original was like, but yeah.
But the Sega CD version was always, I always remember it being so difficult that it was, the idea of playing through it again was very scary. Was very scary to me.
But I bet it's not as difficult as you thought it was at the time.
That's true, but I mean, I would probably just play the unworked version again. And then I could talk about that.
Yeah.
And the save files, would work for both. But that is definitely something that is, I'm just excited about doing stuff like that, and just like comparing different versions of it and stuff like that is just like. What we've been doing with, like, the best way to play stuff, but also, like, talk more about our memories and stuff. And it's, you kind of get the idea that people are interested in hearing that a little bit more from us because, I mean, the year-end video, the views on it have been a lot better than we thought, and the views on those year-end videos have been going up year after year.
Like, it's so surprising that there's people who tell us that that's, like, the video they look forward to the most every year. I guess you never know what's coming next.
We say, like, between us, we were saying, like, it doesn't really matter how well those, like, the year-end videos do. We really make it for the people who, like, watch the show for us, And it's always kind of fun.
But I mean, I think I spent only maybe about 7 days actually working on editing on that video, and not working like crazy late either. And both of us edited roughly 45 minutes each, which it's actually kind of amazing how evenly matched our overall time is on that. Because I feel like usually, like, I'm the one that usually has a harder time, like, reeling in how many games I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But, like, in the past, I feel like there's usually been games that I, like, wrote a segment for, and I'm just like, oh, I don't have time to do this. I have to cut it. That didn't really happen this year. I radically reduced how much I talked about Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Yeah. And I did write a little more for Battle of Olympus. I ultimately just, like, made a passing mention of it, but yeah, I mean, it was fun to do. It was honestly, sometimes when I get so bogged down in, like, heavy projects like Analog Frontiers, sometimes I, like, lose my confidence in my ability to, like, edit efficiently. And so it's sometimes just working on a light and fluffy video like the games we played in 2020 is like this big confidence booster that I really need sometimes. Because it's like, oh, yeah, I can do stuff.
I think
like
that's
this.
true for both of us. Like, I kind of hit a weird wall in the back half of this year where I just was not moving as fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that comes down to, you know, the amount of B-roll and stuff that I've been shooting, and it's like I just get like overwhelmed sometimes, I guess, like, oh, I got to get this and this and this and this, and it's really I don't need to.
But yeah,
Or
I mean,
what I have is totally fine. Just be more efficient with it. And I think that it was good. It's like the way doing this, like an easier to edit video. And you know what? And that's the thing. And it's like when I was doing a lot of these videos, you do them like over and over and over again, where it's like you shoot so much B-roll because it's required because you're like showing a device or something.
right.
So, I think that having more episodes where it's like I can just like show like a lot of gameplay.
Like that is what you need to show anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the big reasons I'm excited to do this Mister video because, you know, for all intents and purposes, the Mister itself is like not the most exciting looking device, even though it looks gorgeous with the aluminum case. Excuse me. There's only like so many different angles I can show this thing.
Yeah. Well, and you know, Analog Frontiers Part 3 is, I mean, it's going to have a lot of B-roll, absolutely, yes. But I think it's, in the end, I think it's going to be more G-roll, game footage heavy than the previous Analog Frontiers episodes. Just because, I mean, the nature of it is we're talking about playing games in the absence of hardware or in the absence of the original cartridge. So, you know, a lot of it is about emulation and the various forms of it and stuff like that. So, you know, it makes sense to be talking about, to be showing games rather than devices. But I mean, there will be a mixture of both in it. But you know, Analog Frontiers Part 3 is part way into editing, but it definitely has a good ways to go. But I'm, you know, now that the year-end video is done, I'm going to get back into it more heavily starting this week, and I'm feeling very optimistic and recharged and renewed after doing this year-end video, and I feel confident that like late January,
all three of these are going to come together a lot quicker than you think they're going to.
Yeah, late January, early February, I'm very confident we'll have Analog Frontiers Part 3. And I suspect it'll only be about a month later until Part 4. Part 5 is a little harder to guess because I have more writing I need to do on that one. I need to make some revisions to Part 4, the Part 4 script, but you know, there's a lot more writing left to do on Part 5, but you know, basically by some point in the spring, I'm very confident you're going to have the whole finished thing, and then you're going to also see fun stuff from us like room tours. Coury's room tour might come even before Analog Frontiers is done.
Yeah, I totally intend to do it. I mean, it's I don't really have anything else that I feel is very, very pressing that I need to do down here. I gotta patch a couple of parts of the wall where I've mounted stuff and decided I didn't like it there. I've filled in the holes and smoothed them over. I just need to dab some paint on them. That's about it.
One thing that is kind of holding me back from my year-end video. Oh no! I misjudged the size of my blast. One thing that is kind of going to put my year-end video a little further into 2020 than yours, or 2021.
2021.
Than yours is I've kind of backed off on one of the major pieces of furniture in my setup right now, and I think I'm going to replace it with something else, and so that's I don't want to really do it until I've done that.
There was a $5 Canadian from Lou Dog. Oh man, Lou Dog. It's spelled LEWDAWG. A long time ago, I have a childhood friend whose name was Lou, and he had a copy of. He bought my old copy, I believe, of the game. What is it called? It's not Star Control. It's not. It's Starflight. Starflight on the Genesis, and his save files have his name as Lou Dog, LOUDOG, and I played Lou Dog's files, I think, one time on stream. Anyways, Lou Dog says your channel is an amazing resource. Went from composite on a flat screen to RGB on a 20L5. My eyes, thank you. My wallet, not so much. Happy New Year.
That's quite the jump.
It is. I mean, I don't even know how much 20L5s go for.
Oh, it's
regularly now.
It's a lot. It's a lot unless you get very, very lucky.
There's also $5 from Demo Kirby.
Thank you.
Saying, just got Sayonara Wild Hearts today at Best Buy, and we'll let Coury know it is a fantastic Game of the Year selection. Skipped some of the stream to play it. Well, I mean, it's such a quick experience, but I mean, it's something you should just do in one sitting. I can't imagine stopping and doing something else and coming back to it. There's also 5. Is it Riels?
Yeah.
Is it R?
I think that's right.
From Jean Carvalho Toledo. Thank you. Saying, asking, do you guys have some news and/or expectations on the PS2 to HDMI project from Citrus 3000 PSI? I'd like to see a better 480i solution. I'm not sure if that's going to be his next project. He was just on a couple of weeks ago. Him and Christoph were on our PS1 digital stream a few weeks ago, and he talked a little bit about it. I don't recall if he said it was like. I don't think it's going to be his next one, but I mean, I think it's going to. The work that they have done up to this point, like, has me completely convinced that it's going to be the definitive solution for the PS2.
Yeah, and the exciting thing is that that while they have not integrated motion adaptive deinterlacing into the PS1 digital yet, they're confident that the hardware in it is going to be fully capable of it once they nail that down for the PS2 digital.
That's pretty exciting. I'm excited about it. There's also $5 Canadian from Stadium Arts. Thank you. Saying best third-party N64 controller with joystick closest to OG. Please?
I've never really used a third-party controller that is like, attempting to be a replica of the original controller.
I did order that wireless Retro Fighters controller, but I mean that's not like the original.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't feel like the original, but the responsiveness is, in the ballpark, I would say.
Yeah.
It's certainly one of the better. I mean, the original stick is just very hard to replicate. Just how, responsive it really is. But I unfortunately don't have much of an answer for you in terms of the ones that are really close to the original, because I've never had a reason to pick one up, because I mean, I always feel like I'm bragging. Some people were really turned off by how I kind of put it in that old N64 replacement stick video. I didn't really mean it in a mean way or anything. But like,
you're like, I played N64 more than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, people, I think some people took it the wrong way. Well, I played a ton of N64 as a kid, and like, I do not have a single controller that is like bad. Like, some are better than others, but like none are bad. So like, I mean, my point is, I've never had like a need specifically for like looking into like that style. Someone did send my way very recently one of the Hori ones, and you know, I should have played with it tonight to get some, you know,
impressions. You can always switch over.
Impressions, yeah. I guess I could. It's upstairs. Maybe I should do that. Let me.
I mean, I liked being able to put an N64 game in my section.
Oh, yeah.
I was very happy to finally be able to show people that little clip of.
Oh yeah, you shot that a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I shot it specifically because I knew that I'd want to put it in this video.
Let me go get that Hori controller. Like, you know, it's a good opportunity to get some experience with it. You know.
Yeah. I'll wait for James's donation till Try gets back. Thanks, Coury Dolan Jr. for checking it out. Yeah, it is. I believe it is the Hori pad. One with the D-pad in the very middle of it. Was the tribute, was that Retrobit? Retrobit, they've been so hit and miss on things, but I feel at least the Saturn controllers have been, like the wireless Saturn controllers have been pretty good. I mean, I have been using a white one. I think it's been pretty good. Okay, I mean, it's interesting because Retrobit, I think, like, have definitely upped like their quality control in recent years, while Hyperkin seems to just like have stayed the same. I guess it seems like Retrobit has at least been trying to like up their game, while Hyperkin is just like, this is good. We're in a good spot. We're just gonna stay right here. Yeah, I mean, I got one of the white ones even after using the clear one. The only problem I have with the clear one is for some reason the light on it doesn't like turn on at all, like the LED. So I don't know if it's on or off or if it's charging or anything. But I got a white one, which seems to be pretty great. I think with the Saturn stuff, like they knew they had to get it right.
I forgot it was actually down here all along. So here's the little. Well, and it is one of, you know, the ones from back in the day.
That this is not is accurate.
What's not as accurate? What?
Someone was saying that it's not
the Hori controller.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's not. This is not a very demanding game in terms of you know, the analog control. It doesn't seem to be. Maybe at the end of the stream, maybe I can go grab Mario 64 and see what I think. Also, something I might try just for the heck of it sometime. I was also sent a Shark Pad Pro 2.
I know the Shark Pad.
Yeah, have you used one?
I'm surprised they call it the shark pad because it looks more like a stingray, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it
It looks like the ship that like Qui-Gon Jinn and Anakin take from the Gungans when they leave
Oh yeah.
in Star Wars Episode 1, doesn't it?
Yeah. The stick on this shark pad is like weirdly long. It's like
Weirdly long.
It is weirdly long. Like the shaft is like an inch.
Well, you know.
Something kind of weird about this Coury controller is it's got a little. Can you hear it? It's got a little click to the stick.
Interesting.
Does it do anything?
I guess we'll find out, huh? There's a $5 donation while you're gone from James Yoder. Thank you. Saying, do you have any plans on covering the Analog Pocket when it releases? By the way, I like your Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance video. And I think it's safe to say that we'll definitely be covering it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know for certain if we'll have an opportunity to get one, but I think that seems likely.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, we're expecting to. We're hoping to. I mean, I would be disappointed if we cannot. And you know, I want to do the Neo Geo as well, or not Neo Geo, the Duo. I'd love for there to be a Neo Geo.
Yeah, I'm excited about the wireless retro fighters. I got one of the Dreamcast pads, but I haven't really used it yet. But hopefully we see a.
Yeah, I haven't really used it a lot. I mean, I
Although
don't think
they'll have to do the VMU differently.
Yeah, the Dreamcast wired one. I noticed that the analog stick seems to twist in place a little bit.
Yeah. Well, as Gaming Blows says, with $1.99, said the shaft is like an inch, but only like an inch. I mean, I wonder how many satisfied shark pad players there were out there.
You know, I'm noticing that like the tilt range on this Coury controller seems broad. Like it just feels like it has a lot of travel distance, but it feels comfy. Like the tip where you rest your finger on, like it seems like it might be larger than a GameCube, like the top of a GameCube controller, you know? But something I'm noticing, like the grips, you know, they sort of I'm sure it's hard to see on the webcam there. The grips curve, they have like this deep curve in here. And
You there?
yeah, I just leaned forward.
Oh, you're just showing us the shaft or
No, I'm showing
us the tip?
My microphone's back here, but like my middle finger kind of rests in this like indentation, like on the which I don't know, feels maybe a little weird, but I don't think this game uses the shoulder buttons, so I'm not really going to be able to get impressions of those. Well, I mean, I guess it uses the Z button for.
Maybe you just need to
remote
spend more
button.
time with it. You know.
But yeah, I mean, it
Love it for its you know, its shortcomings.
I mean, it is pretty comfy. It's just, you know, I never felt a pressing need to get this controller because I didn't have a problem with the original N64 controller, you know? You know, it was kind of a similar situation to the NES dog bone. It's like, oh, I bet that's amazing. And then, like, I got one and I was not amazed. And I was just like, you know, I didn't have a problem with the original NES controller. Like, why did I think it was going to be so amazing to get one of those? And so, like, I think that kind of gave me the revelation with the... When I saw the Coury pad, and I was just like, oh, it's got like a GameCube stick and everything. And I was just like, but wait, I don't have a problem with the GameCube controller. or the N64 controller. So I was just like, well, I should let people who don't like the N64 controller spend money on it.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm very appreciative to have this now because anytime controllers come up, it feels like this is an important thing that we're not really able to show, you know? And so yes. I'm excited for whenever, I'm sure it'll come up. I'm sure it will come up as much as I like to talk about N64 controllers. You know, I'm sure I will come up with need to talk about this in the Shark Pad 64 2. So it's just it's very good thing for us to have on hand. So I'm very happy to have it. It does seem comfortable.
Exactly. We'll have to do another third-party controllers video.
Yeah.
And you can really get into the nitty-gritty.
Do you have anything that like is not included in that one, in the first one? Do you have stuff yet?
I might. I don't know. Like, I haven't really thought too much about it. Oh, we got a $10 donation from Nicholas DeLeon. Thank you. Saying, thanks for everything this year and looking forward to a great 2021. Thank you. I hope you have a great one too.
I'm optimistic that it will be.
Yeah. Glad to see you in here.
I don't know what these little question mark green blocks I sometimes pick up are.
Oh, there's a $2 donation from Jonathan G saying, just a tip. Sometimes it's all you need.
Sometimes you need pro tips, though.
That's true. That's true. I mean, that's not something you can count on the shark or the Coury pad for.
I still don't know if that click in the stick actually like does anything. It's so weird that it's there. Like, I don't even know if there's a button underneath it. I have no idea. It's so interesting how like the second world in this game is like so much more colorful and visually appealing than the first world. Like the first world's really boring looking.
Broken femurs sounds painful. Is asking, would you guys consider doing an RGB masterclass video on the original Xbox? And that is definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, there was I mean, you know, we get questions about all the time, and there was a question recently that I think it might have been.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Okay,
real quick.
I think it might have been in response to a live stream because I think they were saying like they were noticing that we had said like, oh, we're probably doing Wii and Dreamcast next, and he said, oh, it seems weird to do Wii before you do Xbox. And you know, the only reason that I'm expecting that the Wii video will come before Xbox is that we just feel more prepared to do the Wii video than the Xbox video. It just feels like there's a lot of information, a lot of versions. Like my understanding is that Xbox video quality, that they use a wide number of video encoders, and it apparently varies quite significantly from unit to unit or revision to revision. You know, even over its relatively short life. So It just if I feel a bit intimidated by the subject of the Xbox. It feels like there's I mostly know and have access to already what we would need for a Wii video. So that's why it's probably going to come before Xbox. Nothing. I think we've done so little Xbox stuff. A lot of people probably think we hate the Xbox, and and I will admit, I didn't even have an Xbox until I wanted to do that episode on Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I didn't have any Xbox. I mean, just like anyone back in the day, I mean, most people probably didn't have all the systems. You had GameCube and PS2. But then you start a YouTube channel and it's like, oh, well, now I want, I should be able to show this and show that and show that, and this game is interesting, and blah blah blah. It tempts you into buying too many systems. I do enjoy what I play on the Xbox. I admittedly have less experience with it. Coury had one back in the day, and he obviously has a lot more experience with the Xbox than I do. But I feel like we need our hands on more different revisions. I've got a couple. Yeah, I mean, Vanessa is saying when it comes to the OG, you better bring it good, and that is like part of it for me too, because it's like, oh man, like so much too of the Xbox scene surrounds like custom firmware and stuff, and there's so many people that know it so well that I kind of do feel intimidated. In the sense that we're probably gonna overlook like some really crucial custom firmware functionality or something, and it's a little daunting, I think. So much of the Xbox stuff revolves around software rather than hardware mods. It's in some way. Oh, the bomb actually does affect that. It's just, I don't know. It's a little intimidating. I do have my Xbox soft modded, and Coury does too. Coury has a more recent soft mod on his. I need to update mine. But yeah. I don't have I'm actually, I was just a bit ago swapping out controllers just to experiment. I recently got this Coury pad. I'm trying it for the first time. I started the stream using a real N64 controller, but then I thought, oh yeah, I got that. I should get some impressions of it. Pretty good so far, but this is not the most demanding game to use to test it. But I don't have the wireless Brawler 64. Coury just said he ordered one.
Yeah. I ordered a red one.
I have, the wired one, and I do like it, but I'm such an apologist for the N64 controller. I almost always use the real thing. And later on I might try the Shark Pad 64 2, since I also recently received that.
So here I'm going to pose this question for the chat, because I was talking to Try a little bit about this earlier. I have like a bunch of hard drives, like a bunch of older hard drives. They're like, like around 500 gigs to 750 gigs, some 1 terabyte drives. So I've been kind of going through and seeing if there's anything on them that I need. And then after I do that, I've just been like zeroing out the entire, like, wiping the whole thing with zeros. Does anybody have any suggestions of like what I should do with them? I mean, is there a place that I could maybe like donate them for like people that can use them? I mean, I have an old MacBook Pro that I'm going to put a drive in it. I'm going to like take it to Best Buy because they give you like, I mean, it's like 11 years old, but I can get like $50 for it or something like that. And I think that they take them and repurpose them, or they'll dispose it properly. I mean, the personal stuff that is on, I don't think there's any like really personal stuff on them, but that's why I'm going back through and wiping them with zeros. They're all SATA drives. I'm just using Mini Tool to like zero it out. I mean, if there's anything on them, it's like going to be like game capture or just like backups. I think that I could, for some of the smaller ones, I have some like 2.5 inch I'm thinking about getting some enclosures for, but even then it's like, it's not even, I don't know if it's like really even worth it. I've thought about using it for PlayStation storage, but right now I have like a 250 gig SSD in my PS2. Even though I can't like really make use, like it doesn't get any benefit from an SSD. I just am using it because it cuts down on heat and just like moving parts. Eventually, I do want to put an SSD in my PS3, even though it doesn't get any benefit out of it. It just like gets rid of like any kind of moving parts.
I put a SSD in my PS3 at the start of the PS4 generation. Just because I thought that, you know, since I wouldn't be using the system like a lot, like nearly as much going forward, I just kind of thought, like you thought, like, you know, I mean, I know SSDs, you know, have their longevity concerns, but like, I'm not going to be doing like a lot of reads and writes on it, you know?
Right.
Was my thought. Whoa, this is a new attack. Whoa! What?
I already have a 1 terabyte in my extra Xbox, OG Xbox. There was a donation that I missed here, I think. Maybe I didn't. I did not. I thought I did, but I didn't. But we'll see. I mean, I'm going through. It's like a rather large stack. And I already have I mean, the ones that I am using on another system. I just like I already have hard drives. Like I have a Wii hard drive that, you know, is only like half full.
I should go through my hard drive sometime too and just see if I can consolidate, you know, anything I want to keep, you know, just get them off of the old ones, because how likely am I to, like, you know, go looking for something on any one of them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Dramata is saying Best Buy takes electronics recycling. Do you know if they take hard drives?
Oh no. What on earth are you supposed to do there? Like, can you push against it?
There's $4.99 from Juice Polydot. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, wonder if it's worth it to just buy the XRGB at $550 instead of the OSSC plus a new capture card, since I have the HD60 Pro. I mean that is something to think about. But I think some of those really cheap capture cards, won't they work with the OSSC?
Like a lot of the ones that are like designed for like converting a camera to a webcam or something like that, I think a lot of those work with the OSSC.
Like the Elgato, like the early Elgatos, just like the early AverMedias don't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could get a capture card that would support it for well less than 500 minus the cost of the OSSC. The only thing I would consider is, are you going to be really bothered by how the OSSC handles 480i, and do you not have another alternative for how to deal with 480i?
Rivers of Blood is saying, how hard is it to use a Mister with a PVM? And it is not hard at all. It's plug and play.
You just get one of those, D sub to BNC adapters, and or to SCART, or you can use component. Yeah, that's actually what I've got on mine. I've got component.
That's what I'm doing too, because it's just easier. But I mean, yeah, it's plug and play.
There are some like parameters you can set. Okay, do I just like have to run into this or what? Okay, jeez, that's nerve wracking. Like, I hope I'm going to get more of a
like a D-sub to component cable, which is just like, Monoprice has them. Yeah, you don't even need the IO board with direct video. You can use if you have the digital IO board, you can get an HDMI to VGA and use that.
Seems mean. I'm going to look up a fact about this boss, because I'm kind of getting nervous, because like you've only got so many continues. I don't know if it's like, surely it's not for the whole game. It's probably just for the world. You wouldn't think on an N64 game, but this boss is kind of cruel.
There's a 5-pound donation from Jamie Maxwell. Thank you. Saying, UK fan, is it sad that I got an offer on a Japanese Saturn, but one of the things holding me back is the startup sound. I love the US and European startup sound.
Well, I mean,
I really like the Japanese startup sound.
Well, and the thing too, the Japanese logo is like objectively better than the American one. So, you do get to see that on a Japanese system. Let's see.
But I mean, it's up to you. I mean, if you'll miss it that much, then you should. If you're gonna buy a system, you just get the one that you really want. Honestly. Oh, I didn't realize that Goodwill also takes e-waste. I mean, I'll take I'll keep the couple of hard drives that I want to use. That I might see potential for using in the future. But I mean, some of the 3.5, there's just like really no reason to keep them around. Especially since 2 terabyte SSDs are not. I mean, they're still really expensive, but they're not that bad. I've been like eyeing that one of those Western Digital NVMe 2 terabyte sticks, but there's no real reason for me to get something like that. I do wonder when the 3080s are going to be more easily purchasable. Old School Gamers, Try was just saying that he's really hoping that it's going to be out like at the end of this month for Analog Frontiers.
Yeah,
Part 3.
I would say early February at the latest, but I think the end of January is possible. And you'll be working on. I'm sure you'll get something out in January as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I still got to do this video on this that Neo Geo MVSX thing, and John and I were gonna do a thing, and that's gonna be an indication of like one of the smaller videos that we want to do, where it's just like something like really easy, where it's just like us chatting for like 15 minutes about it. You know, I might do something where it's just me by myself talking about it. But I'm not going to go like crazy on this thing. Like it doesn't need to be a big deal. People have already done videos on it, and you know, it'd just be like a, you know, like it's just like more of a casual thing. Try is looking up how to beat this boss because he doesn't want to lose his last life.
Well, I mean, I've got extra continues, but he just seems really mean, so I wanted to look up some information. It sounds like I don't know. I mean, it didn't actually have a lot of valuable information, to be honest. I'm just really nervous about that attack where he like breaks the raft up.
Has never made a how to beat for this game. It's true.
Yeah. Of course, how to beat, you know, is all about giving kind of like bad strategies. Like, or not like bad strategies, but like not necessarily expert tier strategies. It's just like whatever we did that made it work, you know? It doesn't. You know,
that anybody would notice.
Yeah.
Obvious strategies.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that was why I thought
this is your sword. This is the sword that you have.
That's why I thought
you have your sword.
I mean, that's why I thought you know, Demon Souls 2 or Dark Souls 2 would be such a fun one to do, because like it was my first run through the game, my only run through the game, because Dark Souls 2 is not that good. You know, and I just thought it'd be funny.
Apparently there is somebody, I've seen tweets about it saying that someone talks about it all the time. Someone really likes that video. Who's like a big person in the Dark Souls community.
Interesting.
Apparently talks about that video all the time. Ricky Pond was asking, you guys do a 300 episode on the PS1 HDMI mod. And that is something that I think that was kind of the breaking point where we said, I wish we could just do the videos that we wanted to do right then.
I know, like, because we have such a backlog of things that we're like, oh, we should do this, we should do this.
Right. And we really want to do a video in the moment on the,
like when it's like as soon as we get it and we're like, oh, like we should do this, and then it's just like, oh, but we should do this first. And we definitely should do a video on it. So maybe after the motion adaptive stuff is out. You know, or maybe end up kind of doing them together, like with the PS2 one. I just don't know. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. Old school gamers, this is the Ultra HDMI mod. So I was telling you earlier that I watched the new Jumanji movies, like the two newer ones.
I didn't hear about the second one yet, but you told me you watched the first.
Oh, I mean, I think that like everyone. I mean, I didn't, maybe not as much the second one, but everyone else seemed to like the second one more than the first one.
Oh, really? I mean, yeah. I thought both. Oh my gosh, that is such a mean attack. I mean, I thought both were good, but the first was definitely better, but both were good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And we recently watched the first one. Well, I guess about a year ago, and then this summer we watched Zathura, which is, I mean, when was the last time you saw Zathura?
Well, I actually hadn't seen any except for like most of the first one until, it was sometime this past year, I guess, that I watched original Jumanji, Zathura, and the two new ones. I had never, I had seen like Jumanji like on TV before, like after it was like already like underway. I'd never seen it from the beginning before. But I mean, I liked all of them, but I thought Zathura was the weakest, personally. But I think it has, a lot of people who really
It's
like it.
technically, it's just like it's a sequel in theme only.
Well, I mean, the source material comes from the same author, I guess.
Okay. There's a $2 or £2. That's £2, right? Yeah, £2 from InGen UK saying definitely do a treasure special. You've been asking for it for a long time. Maybe this will be the year. Also, I suck says if you press B plus A, you will grab the bomb automatically. I think it's better than placing the bomb and picking it up.
Oh, that sounds really familiar. I think I used to know that back in the day, and I forgot.
But I was surprised at just how good the new movies were, because there's a long time in between the original and this one, and usually it doesn't always work out so well.
Yeah, and
who
especially
even
when
knows,
you're
how the game even got made. It doesn't even really matter.
Yeah,
but
like even you would think like, oh gosh, it's going like it's a video game route. But like, I like the idea that in the interest of its own interest of being played, like it adapted with the times, like that actually worked.
Yeah.
And it became a PlayStation game, or the guy was playing PlayStation.
Right.
Like, I was actually really confused, like, what the actual console was supposed to be. Oh, I think I got him. Whew. That boss was kind of scary.
But it makes you wonder. I mean, obviously they're going to have to do a third one because of the ending there.
Yeah.
And it is interesting because you think about how the first movie had, the animals getting out into the real world, and this is like finally kind of getting back to that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if they could do a whole movie based on being in the real world, because most of the fun comes from, the game tropes and stuff that are.
Well, right, and also like, they would have to figure out how to get like the Rock and all the other all the other characters that they're actually playing in the game. Like, I mean, I guess they could make it so that they come out into the real world with the stilted video game dialogue that like some of the other NPC characters in the world do. Yeah. I'm going to try the SharkPad 64 2 for a little bit.
And it's
to be honest, like, I mean, this is a small compact controller. Like it makes my hands feel maybe a little cramped compared to the good old real N64 controller. But it is interesting. It is interesting, and I will for sure keep it in mind whenever the need to show N64 controller stuff comes up in videos again.
There is a $10 donation. Thank you. from old school gamers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Just a little something to start off New Year's with you fellas. Thanks for all the videos. I've learned a lot over the years from you both. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you. Well, we will do our best. We will do. We're gonna get some hands on with that. That 1-inch shaft. You can get a little handsy with it.
The SharkPad Pro 64 too. Look how weirdly long that is. You see it?
It's weirdly long.
It's weirdly long, Sandy. Just look at that. What a weird controller, Sandy. I know.
I feel like it smells weird.
Does it smell weird, Sandy? Are you
so there's $2 donation from Warren Hokie.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Saying love the year-end video. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. It was a lot of fun making the video.
I feel like where I'm at, moving this stick around feels weird because I feel like where I naturally want to settle into the octagon grooves, like it's just like, oh, it's not quite there yet.
There was a $5 donation from Container 7. Thank you. Saying great game choice.
Well, thank you. Not everyone agreed.
Not everyone agrees, but
I wanted to play it tonight, darn it, so I did.
There's £5 from InGen UK. Thank you. Saying I'm massively looking forward to the Mr. episode after taking the plunge with it after watching your stream with Smoke Monster. Still in love with it? Oh yeah. I mean, it's just like one of the coolest things about it. And like I know that like Try is not like a big like
I know what you're going to say. You love updating stuff.
As I do. I love updating my stuff. And the Mr. basically you never know what you're going to get on any given day. You know? It could be just a normal day and then Sega CD support shows up. You never know. And that's what I think is so much fun about it, is that it's just there's so much stuff going on that you have no idea what might show up the next day. I mean, we could be like just hanging out during the stream tomorrow, doing the stream we're going to do with John Linneman, playing Grandia, and then suddenly X68000 will show up. Like official.
All right, if whoever's making the X68000 core is like almost ready with it, you better get prepped
or maybe
tomorrow.
like the cave core will get it like an official release, just out of nowhere. I mean, that's what I think is most fun about it.
I mean, think about all the people who complained about PS3 system updates, years ago.
But the thing is like, I love that kind of stuff. My favorite thing is like when I don't hear about an update that happens, and I just like pops in my head, and I say, I'm gonna see if there's an update for this, and it turns out that there's like an update like that same day or the day before. I love when that kind of thing happens. But I mean, that's what's cool about it. And yes, I understand like a lot of Nintendo's updates are like, and a lot of Sony updates and everything is like
improved system stability,
But that's okay, I don't mind because you know what? system is more stable than it was a little bit ago.
I've seen people make jokes before, like you know, my Switch is so stable now, I should get some horses. You know, something that I have not found in the PS5 system software yet that I think is a little disappointing. You know, one of my favorite features of the PS4 is I'm gonna have to continue. So you only got so many credits. I mean, I'm assuming it's just gonna set you back at the beginning of the world. I mean, it'd be crazy. You know, on PS4, you know, you had these very like forthright, like, you know, you could just hit the options button and you could see like what happened in each patch. Like,
yeah, it seems like they got rid of that.
Not every developer really did much with it, but I feel like most of the time you found like, oh, like interesting information there. And I was kind of bummed to see them hide that again. Like that was one of the best things Sony had going on, I thought. Like it was like, wow, that is so cool and honest of them. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's surprising that it's that they're not not able to see him as much, or it doesn't present the information straight up.
Yeah.
But I see, you know, someone was saying, I hope that someday, like, they combine, like, the Mister with aspects of the analog system, so it's not so devy. Which I feel that the Mister is like less intimidating and much easier to use than like the Raspberry Pi by a lot. Of course, not in the same way as the analog systems are, you know, where you have like the menu and it's just like you go through. But I feel like something like that's got to be close to happening.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, I would say, before, you know, someone makes a system designed for a specific core or set of cores that is just, you know, kind of ready to use. I'm sure it'll happen.
Oh, we got a $4.99 donation from Sean Quinn.
Oh,
thank you. Good to see you. Speaking up about PS5 and updates, have you guys heard about when they're going to allow for additional internal storage? I haven't seen anything on that at all. Are they? I wonder when that's going to be. And not only that, but I mean, how likely is it that the NVMe storage sizes are going to increase any time? It seems like they're basically stuck at 2 terabytes.
I'm definitely planning to wait a while. Before expanding my internal storage on it, just because I'm sure something much better is going to come along before long.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you like to have everything installed.
I know there's no way I can do it on PS5. Although, honestly, I think it's going to be a long while before I could fill up the internal storage with just PS5 games, because I don't even know when I'm going to buy my next PS5 game. The only thing we don't know when Ratchet and Clank is coming. Like the only thing in the coming months that I kind of really want to get is Yakuza 7, but I don't even know if I'm going to get right away. You know, I'm only going to get it right away if I think I'm going to start it right away. But it does look super fun. And seems right to get it on PS5.
Yeah.
PS5 version isn't out until March, I think. But yeah, like I definitely am waiting a while before getting too deep into PS5 storage. Like it just did.
Not only that, I mean, if you're worried about like I don't know if it's like about having, you know, the patches and everything stored for the future.
I mean, it's partly that, but you know.
But I mean, you don't have to worry about that until, like, oh, they're gonna stop supporting it.
Oh, sure.
Like,
I mean,
it's gonna go away.
I mean that's part of it, but like I like to have everything ready to go, you know. And it's not that difficult to do that with PS4. It's really not. Yeah. Like I've got one external drive, and I upgraded my internal to, I guess, I don't even remember what the internal is. 2 terabytes, maybe. I don't even know. But
I do kind of want to get Sackboy.
I do want to get Sackboy.
But I feel like, you know, that is definitely going to be a greatest hits.
That's true.
At some point on the system.
And I want to play with Drum and Len, and you know that.
Yeah.
That'll be a more of a post-pandemic endeavor.
I mean, I think that's something that I guess I have done these last several years where if it's something I'm not going to play like right away, like I've been generally waiting until like the holidays to get a lot of the stuff that I
I really do. I really do. I mean, I will get it. I will get it for sure. I do really want it. But I think, you know, like I suspect I'm going to be slower picking up PS5 games than I was overall with PS4. You know, although, you know, if you know these limited print run games, you know, that it's hard to say no to them when you know it's something you're going to like.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, like with the limited print run stuff, you know, I'll just get them because like that's the only real opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about playing Police Knots as my first game of the year, which does sound fun. I was also thinking about playing through Shenmue 1, 2, and 3, like all in succession.
Like do what I did, huh?
Yeah, just do them all one
Rise
after
of the
another.
Tomb Raider and all. Ooh, that would be intimidating. Like I like
Not
maybe
really.
maybe I well, they seem like obtuse, frightening games to me. I've not tried gotten that far into any of them, but like I'll admit I'm a little scared of them. I was thinking about starting Shenmue on like a backloggery stream sometime though. Maybe we should both do that this year. And you know, Shenmue.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3 will run a lot better on current gen consoles too. You know, I think it had a lot of performance problems on last gen.
There's £5 from Jamie Maxwell. Thank you. Saying it's a curse word in gaming, and you have represented us well so far. But continue to remember us Pell people in your RGB type videos. We appreciate it. I mean, we try to do as much as we can in terms of what we have on hand and available to us.
There's only so much we can really show in true, truly with PAL. Like I've got a PAL Mega Drive, and you know we have the ability to do PAL stuff like through. You know, maybe Mister, I don't know, but like definitely through like some of the analog consoles via analog output. I mean, we do what we can to represent 50 hertz when we can, but we oftentimes just don't have the systems to really do it. Something that was interesting. Someone said, was it only me, or was it just me, or did anyone else notice that they were actually using an NTSC system to show PAL Mario 64? Because the music was slowed down. I guess if you play it on a real PAL system, it... Oh no. Yikes! I guess if you play it on a real PAL system, the sound is not slowed down. But I responded to the guy, and he said, it is a pretty close representation. But see, I did not know that playing it on NTSC one, loading the PAL ROM on NTSC one, wasn't 100% true to what a PAL version really is. It was news to me. Like, I didn't think I was going to be able to show the PAL version in action at all. And then oops. Oh no. I am not going to play with this controller anymore.
That
the SharkPad 64 Pro 2 with the 1-inch shaft. Not gonna play with it.
A big thumbs down.
No.
Maybe not gonna be winning any awards.
No, maybe I'll use my Brawler 64.
Pokemon 25th anniversary is next month. Can you believe it? I have not played Placenauts. Actually, I've only played the intro to get footage from like a specific for a video previously. I mean, is it very long? I mean, I assume it's probably like 6-7 hours. I'm guessing. I remember when I played through Snatcher when it came out, it took me, I think it was like 3 days it took me of playing.
I think my Brawler 64 must be upstairs. It's not here, so I'm going with old reliable here. Ah, that feels better. That feels better, Sandy. Feels so much better. Ah, yeah, good old N64 controller.
The Pokemon 25th anniversary is this year.
That's unbelievable. Is Zelda
crazy to me.
Is Zelda 35th this year? Zelda and Metroid?
I mean, maybe.
I would think so. I'm kind of hoping for like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword on Switch, maybe. I think that'd be a good thing to do this year. I think it would be interesting.
You know what turns 10 this year? I think Skyrim turns 10 this year.
You're right. That's insane.
I've never even played it. I saw it someplace that it came out in 2010
or 2011. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy, actually, because it felt like a long wait between Oblivion and Skyrim, and they were like in the same generation.
Yeah.
Oblivion was 2006, and wow, it's crazy to think how much longer it is to Elder Scrolls 6. That's wild.
The GameCube 20th anniversary is this year, along with the 10th of the 3DS.
Wow, Skyrim is as old as the 3DS. Didn't you say that GameSack?
I think it's crazy that the 3DS is as old as Skyrim, honestly.
Didn't you say that GameSack?
Their first episode aired on the release date of the 3DS, I believe.
That's so funny.
Or that's when they made it. At least that's when they shot it.
That's funny. I I mean, you know, I remember the 3DS the day it came out. It was good times. I was still living in my apartment.
Yeah, Zelda is 35. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely do something this year. I mean, dang it. I mean, what's interesting is that on my understanding of what's going on with 3D with Galaxy on 3D All Stars is that it's actually kind of like a recompiled version to some extent, but it might be like a hybrid emulation port, which would be interesting because, you know, they obviously did like the full like remaster for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which I never played the HD Twilight Princess, and I'd really like to. So it'd be even cooler if it was on Switch, I guess. But like, even if they don't give Skyward Sword the full treatment, which, I mean, to be fair, the game may not really deserve it. You know, it would be interesting because they would probably do the same thing with Galaxy, where it would be a you know, a hybrid port emulation, some recompiled code, I guess. I don't know. That's just my understanding, but I don't know that much about it. But you know, I'd probably play Skyward Sword again. I mean, you know, I don't dislike Skyward Sword, I think, for the reasons a lot of people do. Which, I mean, oh, dang it. It would be inaccurate to say that I dislike Skyward Sword. I think
it'd be nice to see a new version that was not motion focused, to see how they would do it.
I think it would be really difficult. I mean, I think the Joy-Cons could do everything they would need.
To restructure the entire game. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I just don't think it could be done very feasibly. I think the Joy-Cons could work as a stand-in for the Wii Motion Plus, though. You know, I think they could.
Yeah.
I think they could do the job.
I think at least we will see ports of Wind Waker and the Twilight Princess.
I think so.
Like as a compilation this year.
But you know, I see that. I think that's the main thing that people hold against Skyward Sword. I think that the motion controls were actually very good. I think, you know, it was kind of like, all right, good job. You did as good as you could do. Really, like, this is you're not going to get any better than this. You did it. Let's go back to button controls now. You know, that was kind of my attitude with Skyward Sword. The motion controls were totally fine. The thing that bothered me about Skyward Sword was the structure, really. You were going
more like a puzzle-based overworld.
It was really more of like almost level-based overworld. Like, there was no overworld to speak of. Like, the segments between dungeons were practically dungeons themselves. You know,
right.
There was no open field, no aspect of exploration to the game.
And you just fight that big black blob thing.
Like, you fought him like 5 times or something. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And
it never gets any more fun.
No. That was miserable. And it looks so stupid. Like, the design of it is so stupid. Like, it's supposed to be, you know, this, you know, great, you know, calamity that destroyed the world at some point, or it had to be sealed away, and it's like so stupid looking.
The way you hurt it is by, like, you gotta attack its like big, like,
toes,
big floppy toes.
But like, yeah, the overworld, and then you go back to those same areas, just slightly different, like 3 times over the course of the game. Like, the structure was just bad. And what blows my mind is that, as far as I understand, the same director was behind Skyward Sword, Link Between Worlds
Yeah.
and Breath of the Wild, as wildly different as those games are.
Okay, I thought it was the same. It was that same person that did Minish Cap, which is very similar to Skyward Sword.
Oh
overall.
yeah. That's my understanding. I'd have to double check those facts, but that's what I've heard.
I mean, I put like 40 hours into Skyward Sword, and I liked it at the time, but I can't remember anything about it.
I mean, it was good. I liked the dungeons. I loved the art style. Style. And I liked like the stamina system. I thought was really well implemented, and you know they brought that back for Breath of the Wild. I mean, there were certainly plenty of good things about it. I remember now. You do throw further if you're tilting the stick, I think. Yeah, I mean, it was good, but the structure was just so stilted, you know?
Yeah. Warren Hokie said that they just finished Spirit Tracks on the DS for the first time. Not as bad as people say. I actually loved it.
I'd be interested in seeing what I thought of it on a replay, I guess. I thought the train stuff was like not fun at all, and I actually thought it was going to be fun, but I didn't. Oh, no! This level's tough.
Little Bomberman just falling into the molten lava, into the liquid hot magma.
Level's a little tough. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I mean, you know what I really love is Switch Link Between Worlds. I mean that,
yeah,
like the Kirby games, Kid Icarus Uprising, and
oh yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a port of Kid Icarus. Like it deserves it because there's a lot of content in that game.
Oh
too.
yeah.
The soundtrack is unbelievable.
The Kirby games, Link Between Worlds, and Link Between Worlds are just like so deserving of like, you know, full-fledged HD ports, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a Kid Icarus Uprising with just like traditional controls would be amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did not
It would
mind
be so much fun to play.
the original
like,
controls, but it would.
Rail shooter. It's like such a good.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
A fun game to play.
You know, I mean, Kid Icarus Uprising is so good that it makes me sad that, you know, Sakurai is married to Smash Brothers, you know, because he could be making so many interesting games if he just had the freedom to do anything else.
In a lot of ways, I mean, I think he probably did. He did, like wasn't Uprising like the thing he said, I won't do another Smash unless you let me do this.
I don't know. I don't know if I've heard that story. You know, since then he's said, you know, like, you know, if Nintendo asked me to do a Smash Brothers, you know, I'd always put that as top priority. And it's kind of like, man, I wish you wouldn't.
Lord X Musion says, how can a game be good though if the controls are bad? Well, I mean, the controls aren't bad; they're just unwieldy, I think.
I mean, the controls. I mean, honestly, like once you get used to the awkward. I mean, it's just the game asks you to. The controls are not bad. It's just that the game asks you to hold and use the system in a way that people aren't used to. It's unconventional, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the controls are not bad, and a lot of people just did not ask. We're not willing to get used to it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in much the same way, like I feel as though Star Fox Zero was a pretty good game if you didn't have to control it like you did.
I actually really liked the controls in it. I mean, I like Star Fox Zero. I was thinking Command Mission. I remember so little about Star Fox Zero. I mean, and the controls weren't bad. They did feel a little forced though, for sure.
Right. I wonder if they could if it could be converted to the
Switch.
The Switch, but I don't think it's gonna, because I think that it's sold so poorly.
Yeah.
I mean, I still see it for clearance sometimes at places. I think I might have seen it even at like five and below.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard, like, I literally did not even know what that store was until I heard about Star Fox Zero being sold there. Uh-oh.
Yep. Like last time I was there was
what the heck? Why that thing
the
wasn't
entire
in
game
way
aisle.
before?
The entire game section was Star Fox Zero and Yokai Watch for $5 each.
Yokai Watch was like such a big thing for a while, and I hear like in Japan.
My kids are like way into Yokai Watch.
Oh really? Like I heard
I heard they will play the music on the Alexa.
I heard that in Japan, like, you know, it was just like an absolute phenomenon for a while, and it just seemed like, oh, this is going to always be around like Pokemon. And I heard that it's just like not nearly the phenomenon in Japan that it was.
Well, I think the big problem is that like the Pokemon are endearing, but I feel like all the yokais are just like they all seem like assholes, for lack of a better word. Like they're just really like they're not like none of them are nice, and I think that's like their whole thing. Is all they do is they
cause mischief or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what yokai are in Japanese culture, I guess.
Well, it doesn't translate very well to a show that it just doesn't translate very well to like like characters that you want to care about.
I've just in general had the hardest time with level 5 as a developer. Like I want to like their stuff. I like their art style that they use. They usually have really good music. They seem very technically sound, but the gameplay is just usually not that enjoyable to me. Dragon Quest 8 being the big exception, because I mean, Dragon Quest is Dragon Quest, right? They're not really so much designing the systems behind it. They were just, they were the boots on the ground making Dragon Quest 10 or 8 and 9, I guess.
Yeah.
But but like, I am going to give Dark Cloud 2 another chance. But like, that I didn't get into the first time I tried it. I did like Phoenix Wright versus Ace Attorney, or Phoenix Wright versus Ace Attorney, Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney a lot. That was really good. I played the first Professor Layton, and I thought it was fine, but like, the thing about it for me was it just felt like very few of the puzzles in the game felt like they really needed to be in a video game. Like they felt like they could have accomplished the same thing with like, a book. Like you could do it like with pen and paper, most of the puzzles. Like, which is what it was kind of based on. It was based on that kind of thing.
Right.
But like it felt like it wasn't taking advantage of the fact that, hey, this is a video game. Like you can do these kinds of puzzles in a way that you couldn't do with pen and paper. Like I thought that would have been more interesting if they came up with some different stuff.
There was a 10 pounds from Jamie Maxwell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying I'm in the UK and it's getting on 4 a.m. here, so I'm bowing out. But I love you both, and this money is well deserved.
Well, thank you.
So glad to support you. I do VGM covers, so look out for me. All the very best.
Nice.
Well, thank you, and we will. Thank you, Jamie Maxwell. 4 a.m. For those that don't know, we will be doing a bonus stream tomorrow around 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, which specifically because John Linneman is going to be on, and European time and all that.
Play some Granja.
How did I throw that one so far that one time? Oh, there! Oh no! I'm right on.
Are you falling into the?
This is so hard.
Into the lava.
Oh, it bounced off the thing and like knocked me unconscious, and then like my next bomb, like I guess the lava jumped up at it and it blew it up.
A liquid hot magma.
Yeah. It's interesting. You can't.
Rickon has a suggestion for this part, but doesn't want a backseat. I think you could probably give a suggestion.
You are A-OK backseating. I'll
by all means.
I'll take a suggestion from Daddy Pon anytime. Got the whole No Pon family there. Bomb kick the one on the left. Do they go straight out like that? Let's find out. No, doesn't look like it. I should probably try to like go upwards a little bit after tossing this bomb so that it doesn't fall back on and hit me.
Zane's dad, way earlier in the stream, was asking if there's any blooper reels, if we've ever released any blooper reels.
Done, like,
and if you go to the
maybe
front
2 of
page on
them?
the channel, there's a couple of playlists. They have like bonus material and stuff, and I think there's two blooper reels. I love the word bloopers. It's a blooper. You ever watch remember watching TV's bloopers and practical jokes?
I mean, maybe.
It was hosted by Ed McMahon.
Don't remember. I mean, I remember. Ah, dang it. Oh, dang it. It's so hard. There it goes. Oh my goodness. Please tell me that's the end of the level. Oh! No! Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me. After all that, I finally did it. After all that, I finally did it. If I still had my remote bombs, that wouldn't have happened. Oh, I feel like tragic stuff like that happens a lot more frequently on Backloggery streams, but oh. Well, considering this is the first level in World 3 and it's almost 11 o'clock, maybe I should go grab some other N64 game to close out the stream with.
Sure.
Maybe I'll grab a couple. Hang on.
It wasn't quite as loud over here, but I can only imagine how loud that was on the stream. And when I pull the audio down to do the podcast version tomorrow, I'm gonna see that waveform go boom, like a big chunk of a scream. Take care, MLiG Gaming. Have a good night. Mason, he's probably gonna try out a couple of little N64 games for a minute, and then gonna call it. But we are doing a bonus stream tomorrow afternoon. I think we need to do more bonus streams. I think it's gonna be 2 p.m. Eastern time, is what Try was saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the plan. I'm going to.
Jordan Maddox asking if you'll ever try Sin and Punishment.
What do you mean, try Sin and Punishment?
Well, I mean, do it on
stream. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Have we never streamed it?
Not the first one, I don't think.
Have we streamed the second? Oh yeah, I guess we have, haven't we?
Yeah, I streamed the second one a long time ago. Chris Pratt says, "Try scream like he fell from the moon in DuckTales."
Yeah, it's true. We were talking about that during that that little podcast recording. All right, we're testing out the Coury here. Let's see how I feel about it.
I had a friend who would always say to me, he would say to me, he'd go, "Coury," would call me Coury. So when I hear Coury, I'm like, "Coury." I have a big cigar. Coury.
I'm not overly impressed. I'm not overly impressed here.
It literally took you 5 seconds to call it.
Yeah. I mean, I listen. I did a lot of this in
I'm not impressed.
In September.
2 seconds, you haven't even gone and played a level. You just walked around. Well, not impressed.
This is how I did. I did out here. It's really seeing for me. It's seeing how far do I tilt before he starts picking up speed. And see, look how fast he's walking right there with his with the tippy toe. He's tippy toeing pretty fast. That is very difficult to hold. See this speed that I'm moving right here? It's very difficult to hold that right now. And that speed would be very easy to hold on a real controller or really even on the Switch Pro controller. He does ramp up a little quick for my liking on this. Oh, Lord X Muse's saying the shark pad should do better. Well, let's find out.
There was a $2 donation from Ben Brody saying, "I like garlic and Parmesan top steaks. Deal with it."
What?
What? Are you crazy?
That sounds perfectly delicious to me. Whoa!
Oh, it's garbage. What is this garbage?
Mario's drifting.
I think I need to get I feel like I need to get a fake giant stogie that I can just like break out every once in a while on the stream.
Now this, I know, Sam. I know. I know. Yeah. What is it? The dead zone
Like,
on this.
Like, don't you dare use that shark pad again. Are you kidding me?
The dead zone on this is like almost non-existent. Like you can see how he's like really wanting to go.
I want to see how much a fake stogie costs on Amazon. Order one.
It's really hard to hold a steady direction. You see how he's wobbling as I'm moving at slow speeds? Like he's like, ooh, am I going a little more left? Am I going a little bit up? Is it a little down? Yeah. Not terribly impressed. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Hori one is probably fine for a vast majority of games, and even for Mario 64, it's probably fine. But it's not as precise. It would definitely be more difficult to make slow, precise movements, I believe.
Oh, we got $9.99 from Sean Quinn. Thank you. Saying, have you guys seen the show What We Do in the Shadows? I just discovered it. I've been binging it this weekend. Also, have you guys ever had beards? Would you consider one for 2021? I've seen some of the movie of What We Do in Shadows, in the Shadows. I didn't realize they made a show of it. I will have to check that out. It sounds like something that'd be on Amazon Prime. And I've never had like a full beard. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe I would do it, but I don't really have a real desire for it. I always have facial hair, but never like a full-on beard. Oh, okay, so it's on Hulu. We just got Hulu because we have the you can get the Hulu, ESPN Plus or whatever, and Disney Plus, like the package for like $12.99 or whatever. Well, I mean, looking at the fake stogies on Amazon, they're like only like $5. I just think it'd be really funny to bust it out and be like, yeah.
I don't even know
what
how.
Is this?
I want to say when I got this cartridge, the control mapping was really weird. There's like a bunch of profiles already on it. Looks like Z is go, which I think is actually the default on this profile. I really need to make like my own profile on this cart someday.
Fat Chocobo says we should make an episode about PAL to NTSC conversions. What are some things that you would have in mind that would be in that? Just like things that are...
It really sounds like something that sounds more like a John and Audie episode, actually.
Yeah.
I think they'd be really good at
but
that.
Maybe they could appear.
Yeah. I mean, we would definitely need their help, I would say, to do an episode on that. Oh, you mean like how to like making a PAL console run it NTSC speeds or something. I mean, I feel like that's such a common mod. Like it's been around like since any of these consoles.
He just killed that person driving that yellow car.
I don't think that's true. Yeah, I mean those are mods that have been around since the consoles were new. I mean, there's so many ways to do them. I just don't know much about it. But that could possibly be an idea, but like I almost feel like that's more a video for people to make, like, you know, like Voltar or someone who actually does like mods, you know, like their whole thing is making mod videos, you know?
Yeah.
Like how to do it. Like, I don't know if there's much value in us doing a video that's just like, hey, here's a mod you can get. You know, like we couldn't really demonstrate how to do it. So I feel like that's the kind of mod
your shark pad.
Yeah. I feel like there's some, I feel like the most value in a video like that is showing how to do the mod. And that's not really our area, you know?
There's a $14.99 from Wesley Hall.
Wow, thank you.
Saying, what do you guys think about the possibility of CRTs being produced again? Are OLEDs really as good or better? Be honest. I think that there's like almost no chance of anyone really making CRTs.
I mean,
I think
it's too small of a niche.
If they could justify it for like they would only sell enough like in their first go around, and they'd have to set up like a whole manufacturing for them. I just don't think it's something that would
to do it in
it's too niche.
To do it in the quantities that they would likely be able to manufacture at any given point, like they would have to be way too expensive. Way too expensive.
Yeah.
OLEDs, you know, honestly, like I think that the color and black levels, in my opinion, on an OLED are better than on a CR, than like on a you know, a PVM. I do think so, because CRTs the black levels are heavily influenced by ambient light. So you know, if you're playing a dark game in a bright room, you know, like I remember I was shooting some Metroid Prime off of a CRT, earlier last year, and like I was in the Magmoor Caverns and I couldn't see what the heck I was doing. You know, because the lights were on, and you know, that wouldn't be a problem on an OLED. You know, the ambient light just, you know, I'm looking at right now, I've got lights on so that you can see me on the webcam. I mean, the blacks are black as can be. The colors really pop. You know, I remember looking at Super Nintendo games, you know, with my OLED and a PVM off to the side. I don't have PVMs in this room anymore, but when I did, you know, I was like, you know, I don't know. I kind of like the OLED colors better. That said, I mean, obviously, you know,
I love the idea that there's just like a group of people like in their jean shorts without shirts on, and women in bikinis, like in this tunnel, like
the 90s, man, you know?
Yeah, like just in the middle of this tunnel.
Did you have anything better to do in the 90s?
I don't. No, not especially. It's just that
like... Whoa, you could see the underside texture of my car for a moment during that flip, and it was not good.
They're jean shorts or jorts rather.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd rather call
you think
that.
any of them were Jinkos? Jinko jeans?
I don't know. I was very surprised when, in a recent Bithead video, he's talking about wearing Jinko jeans, and that was surprising. I never wore them. They were certainly not something that I wore, but I was very surprised to hear that Bithead.
One of my friends growing up was, I did not, but one of my friends growing up was big in them.
You seem like someone who would have worn them.
I mean, you know, I would.
You thought about it.
I was probably turned off by them, by, you know, the whole brand name aspect of it, because like I do not care about clothing brands or anything like that whatsoever. So that probably turned me off. But, you know, I'm a cargo shorts man, you know, like, you know, Jinko jeans were the first, the first jeans the first pants I ever saw with like, you know, the cargo pockets, right?
I mean, I don't remember them having.
I remember them. I thought I remembered them having a lot of storage in their pockets, and you know, so when like I started seeing like, you know, big pockets on, you know, on cargo shorts, like I was like I always thought that kind of started with the Jinkos, but I don't know. I know very little about clothing, you know. It keeps me legal in public, I guess, right?
There's $4.99 from Franklin Brown saying, "Here's $5 for your stogie. I await its appearance on the stream. I have one in my Amazon cart, and I will order it." I feel almost kind of guilty just ordering a fake stogie from Amazon Prime by itself. Like whoever's like packaging it up,
Well,
they're like, "Oh,
well, I mean, you know,
like using the Amazon."
they are probably don't even think about anything anymore.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me think of it is Chris Farley and Tommy Boy when he's like doing the impression of the ambulance driver after the car accident. He's like, "Oh my God!" Just like the way that he holds his hand. He's like, but I will definitely order a big stogie, and I'll just sit here with it, and I'll criticize Try's game playing. What are you doing? There's also $4.99 from Zero Beast saying that the 90s were the decade for hanging in tunnels. I feel bad that I missed out on all that.
You know, really, the length of that dude's jeans. You know, I just realized there's only one dude in that entire lineup. I don't know if they're different from level to level.
It shows you where the developers' priorities were. Whoever was doing the digitizing.
But you know, the length of his jeans really, I forget what my mom calls them. Like, those are like longer than what I would think of as jorts. But my mom like wears a lot of jeans that like only go like halfway down your shin. So they're like long. They're too long to be shorts, but they're not. You know, they don't go. You know, they don't completely cover your leg.
It's just that dude and his twin brother.
Yep.
There is a $20 donation from Wesley Hall. Thank you.
Wow.
Asking, so if you had a choice between an FW900 and a huge OLED, it's OLED. I mean, there's definitely is a market and possibly willing to pay for it. For SD content, I'm talking SD consoles. See, I mean, I think that there is a market for like the first batch of them that they make, but I'm not sure if there would be enough demand over time for it to be worth the money that it would take to set it up.
I mean, if you forced me to pick, like, okay, you're only allowed to have like one TV or one screen of any kind in your house, like I would not choose a CRT because, you know, modern content wouldn't be as well suited for it. I hear stuff about like, you know, micro LED or whatever, you know, eventually being the technology to replace OLED. You know, OLED's not going to be the be all end all for all time. But, you know, at one point during that race, there was one in the middle of the forest. There was just one of those dudes with his jeans and no shirt, like staying on top of one of the checkpoint markers. Keep an eye out for him this time, because I failed again. I don't think I'm going to make it all the way across the U.S. I usually don't. Like, I have to, you know, this game gets a little hard. There's not like a lot of finesse to it, you know, like you You know, you're either going to make it or you're not. Like the later cruising games definitely give you a lot more to
This
work.
is used. I mean, it's
a lot more
a midway game,
mechanics,
right?
Yeah. The later games definitely give you a lot.
It uses the NBA Jam font.
The later games give you a lot more to work with in terms of like mechanics to like get ahead and stuff. You know, this game is very basic. It's a very stupid game, but I love it. I think the guy on top of the sign is going to be coming up. Keep an eye out for him.
Okay. There's $2 from Chris Fratz. Thank you, saying now you can be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Of course.
There he is.
And that's the whole reason. There's a really good impression that I saw of him a while back. Without any screaming or anything like that. I'm looking for him.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, you know, I like playing retro games on CRTs, but I very often choose to play them on my OLED right here, just because this is, you know, my more comfy, more laid back gaming environment. I obviously I love the CRTs. I'm obsessed with them, and I have like, you know, probably 30 devices in my house that qualify as CRTs of varying size. You know, I freaking love CRTs. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm certainly not one, you know, I'm not a CRT zealot either. You know, it's not CRTs or nothing, you know, because I mean, you know, the channel started before we did the first RGB video, before we even knew people played video games on PVMs. Like, all we knew was the Framemeister in terms of RGB stuff. You know, I had a CRT or two, but they were at my parents' house. Aside from my HD one that, you know, I later accepted was not that amazing. You know, that Toshiba, I had that Toshiba my last year in college. And it was in my parents' house. And, you know, I got a kick out of playing on every now and then. You know, I remember playing Phantasy Star on the Virtual Console on that Toshiba, like when I was at my parents' house for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, whatever year that would have been. And I thought it looked so good. And of course I had no idea. I didn't know about 240p at the time. I didn't know that it was running in 240p. You know, I knew that older games were a lower resolution, but I didn't know, like, you know, that it was like actually doing really interesting behaviors with the CRT itself that was like actually lower than, you know, it was sending a signal that was not 480i exactly. I didn't know about any of that. And I remember playing it and thought it looked really cool. You know, a few years later, I brought over, you know, I decided like, I was going to my parents' house for the weekend. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start Wild Arms 2. And, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring my PS1 to play Wild Arms 2 instead of my PS2. Like, I hadn't played a like, I always kept my PS1 out, just like decoratively. But like, I had not played a game on my PS1 system in forever because I played them on my PS2 or PS3. And I just thought, I was just like, I was tweeting about it. I was like, this is wild. I'm playing on a PS1. Like, you know, because like it seemed so redundant. Because the backwards compatibility was in general for most games so good that, you know, it didn't really matter. I just I'm playing on PS1. Ain't that a hoot? You know?
So Gaming Revived in the chat is saying something about how they upscaled and enhanced every N64 game. Took over 1 year to dump textures and enhance N64s. N64 games are perfectly revived now. I've not heard anything about that. Is that
is it some sort of script that you just like rip all the textures and like automatically AI upscale them or something? Of course, that wouldn't be anything that would benefit original hardware, but it sounds like an interesting project.
Yeah. There's also a $5 donation from Zane's dad saying, "Forget the jeans. They need to bring back parachute pants." Happy New Year. Well, I don't know. I just can't imagine like wearing gigantic pants like that. It sounds like I never wore like the Jinko pants. But the thing I always remember is like how filthy the bottoms would get when on rainy days. And people would wear
I'm
them.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But you know,
They're filthy.
What I'm a cargo shorts man. You know, what can I say? I don't care how much anyone says they're like objectively unstylish or something. I don't care in the slightest because they are great and comfortable and practical. And they are my thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I never wore those pants. I mean, I wore cargo shorts when like years ago. I don't really do much. No, I don't have any now. But I don't know. You spend more of your year in shorts in general, so.
Yeah, I mean, I usually have a pretty low, the temperature threshold is low for where I switch over to.
From it just like flew out.
Long pants. What flew out?
It's just like a barrel flew out in front of you out of nowhere. There's a $5 donation from Potbelly Punch.
Thank you.
Saying, "I sent an angry letter to Nintendo in 1997 because the trees in the Redwood stage were cardboard cutout looking when you hit them." He's just a strongly worded angry letter.
It's like your N64 should be doing better than this, I guess. Whoa. I remember borrowing several games from my same friend who wore the Jinko jeans. I remember borrowing. I was like, oh, what am I going to buy on N64 next? I remember borrowing. This. I think I borrowed Bomberman 64. Blast Core, maybe Pilot Wings. I can't remember. I can't. And ultimately, I ended up getting either. I ended up getting either Pilot Wings or Blast Core next because I had not owned Cruis'n USA or Bomberman 64 myself back in the day, but I played them a bit at a friend's house. But I didn't get them until much later.
Well, how much left do you have in this game?
After California, they start getting a lot more spread out. But I usually start to really struggle by the time you get to Chicago. I usually don't do too good in Chicago.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go until my next loss, which could very well be this race. Who knows?
Reed Sampras is saying, "Too much discussion about pants. The ultimate look is dress shirt, boxers, and dress shoes." I always laugh.
I bet a lot of people are rocking that at work this year. Just boxers.
I always crack up like when somehow it turns out that like my son is like he's like Donald ducking around the house out of nowhere.
Just wearing a shirt, huh?
He's just wearing a shirt. He's like got no pants on.
Is that an actual term, or are you just calling it that?
I've heard it someplace before. I just think it's really like such a funny term. He's like Donald ducking around.
I mean, really, a lot of cartoon characters do that, I guess.
Oh yeah.
A lot of cartoon animals, I guess.
Oh, Demo Kirby says we call it Winnie the Poohing. Yep, it was basically the same thing. Or it is exactly the same thing, really.
At least, I mean, Winnie the Pooh has a much more simple shirt. Donald Duck shirt at least has, it at least looks like a shirt that,
Sailor shirt, right?
It's a little fancier. Yeah, Chris Cola says, I thought you meant that angry walk that Donald. That's what came to mind first was his angry walk.
No, I mean Winnie the Pooh is like it's also the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just the idea of like walking around with a shirt on with no pants, nothing on your bottom half, I guess.
What was it? I saw some discussion about this in one of the streams I downloaded to put in our year end video. It was it was when Drum and I were playing. I was playing the Game Boy Adventure Island 2, and he was playing NES Adventure Island 3, which are basically the same game. And there were these pigs. They're just wearing shades and like a Speedo. And I like paused the game and we like debated for a while. Are they naked or are they wearing a Speedo? Because it's hard to make out a Speedo and NES graphics, right? There's only so many pixels to be representing a Speedo with. And yes. I said, is this pig naked or is he wearing a Speedo? And if he is naked, does it matter? Because for some reason, it kind of felt like it mattered. But he's a pig. It shouldn't matter,
Yeah.
But something about the pig's design made it feel like it mattered that the pig might be naked. But I think he's wearing a Speedo and sunglasses.
That's right. It's the Gap Rim comes with a Speedo.
See, look at that big jump across the country. Like, it's so interesting to me that this game focuses so heavily.
I only care about California.
But like the game was made in Chicago. Like, why is it so heavily skewed to California?
I don't know. Maybe if they just had to cut out a lot of content.
I really do have a soft spot though for racing game for like I forget if there's a term for it, but racing games that aren't based on laps. I always really like how some of the more recent Mario Kart games have had at least like 2 levels per game that are just they have like 3 segments. Like you still like it still says like 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, etc. But like they're not laps. It's just another section of one long course. I respect that concept. I guess Outrun is kind of like that too. Although I've those are games that I have not delved deeply into. But I streamed a little bit of Outrun 2006 one time, just putting it in randomly on a stream.
Awesome game.
I can't remember what video it was, but at some point, I want to say it was this past year. I played up to this point in the game. Although I think maybe I could level select, I forget. But like I played this level so many times trying to get a bug splat on my windshield, and I swear I thought it happened in this level, on the N64 version, but I couldn't get it to happen. I could not get it to happen.
Maybe it's not actually in the game and you just remember it.
I swear I remember it. Demo Kirby saying about Mickey's Speedway USA for a game Rare made with Daycon Racing Engine. It is pretty dull. Yeah, I've only played a little bit of it, like on the 64 drive. But it's one of only 2 N64 Rare games that I don't own. The other being Killer Instinct Gold, which I really have no interest in. But like part of me kind of does want to pick up both of those just to say I own every N64 Rare game. I mean, I bought other than those 2. I'm the original owner of all of those. And most of them I probably bought day one because I was a huge fan of Rare. Hence the Rare after Nintendo series, right? I was really on top of Rare's releases back then. But Killer Instinct, obviously, not really my thing. Is not much of a fighting game fan. And then the Mickey Speedway, I just license game, whatever. So I
run right into that fire truck.
So, but I of the 2, I am more interested in Mickey Speedway USA. But yeah, I don't expect it to be terribly exciting. It's such a weird game for them to have done back then, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
like it's much more typical of like their NES era, where they were doing a lot of like work for hire.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom again.
Okay.
Right back. Drink this big thing of water too quickly.
I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm doing pretty good in Chicago so far. This is where it usually starts to fall apart for me, and it feels like it's about to. Yeah. Whoa. Oh yeah. I usually don't get this far. I usually kind of burn out around Chicago, and I'm just like, not worth going all the way. $2 from For the Love of the Game. Thank you. Saying, fun fact, 1 in every 5 games on N64 is a racer. Is that really true? I don't know if I buy that. I mean, when you consider like all the baseball and football and hockey games that have got to be on the system too, I find that hard to believe. But there are a lot of racers. I was, back in these days, I was very much into rentals. I rented games a ton. Is this the level they had? Maybe this is the level with the bug splats. Maybe I should go into first person. Back in those days, I enjoyed Rain, the odd racer here and there. Even some really generic, boring ones. I do not consider myself a big racing fan in general. Like Mario Kart and F-Zero are my favorites. But I've always had a healthy respect for Ridge Racer. There we go. Oh, it was beautiful. It was bird poo, not bugs. It was beautiful. I wish I could remember what my idea was to use that in a video. I'd remember it if I heard the line in the script. It was one of those things like, this would be perfect for this line. Oh, come on. Okay, that's not the finish. It's just a checkpoint.
How much further do you have left to go?
Not that much further. I'm doing surprisingly good. Like I said, we'll stop. We'll stop after I lose a race, or if I finish. We're pretty close. That was the level. I thought it was bug splats. It's bird poop, or maybe there's bug splats on another level. I don't know. It was bird poop, but it did happen, and it was beautiful. I think this is this Appalachia? This might be the second to last level, actually. You know, the Cruis'n video would be so good for one of these MLiG marathons. You could do an N64. I wonder how long an N64 episodes one would be.
I mean, might as well just do it. I mean, what I'll probably do is I'll probably put them all together, and then we'll just release them when it just feels right.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, a lot of those old episodes are going to be new to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. It's just you really took out that fire truck, flipping end over end. Backwards.
I mean, these games are so stupid, but that's kind of why I love them. Yeah. They aren't
not quite as stupid as Drivers.
No.
Driver. But it's funny in a similarly stupid way.
Yeah. This is junk food gaming at its finest.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. This route is more the driving that I'm used to. This part of the game. This is the kind of route. I mean, really, I mean, it's very much what it looks like driving between Kentucky and North Carolina.
Yeah, the draw distance is not as good too.
I think the next level might be
It's
Washington,
amazing.
D.C.
All those people have been following you straight across the United States. It's always those same two dudes.
Yep.
Every single time.
I mean, I'm sure they're trying. I'm sure they think that the women are the thing that people are paying attention to. But there's dudes just that they seem like the most standout characters of the cast. They are unique. There is no one else there quite like them except for the other dude. Except for the other dude that is exactly the other dude. I mean, the ladies is just a bunch of different ladies in different bikinis, but that dude I feel like there's a real story behind why he wanted to make this journey with us.
Yeah.
And why he chose his particular wardrobe.
Probably because it's you'd almost think he was from Kentucky.
Oh, look, it's a Cruis'n USA bus. That's where the dude is riding on.
Yeah.
Right in front of me there.
Jeff O was saying, how does this compare to Outrun? It's not even close. Especially the Outrun Coast to Coast or the Outrun 2. There's another $20 from Wesley. Thank you. Saying, I made a machine that runs without cooling, not a Raspberry Pi that bolts onto...
look at my freeze frame there. What a way to beat the game.
Wesley Hall says, I made a machine that runs without cooling, not a Raspberry Pi that bolts into a Sony PVM case. I'm sad because OLEDs are better, but you guys still gave me a buttload of knowledge and a great year of my life building it. So, is it just machine that runs without cooling?
I mean, build it into a Sony PVM case. I mean, don't say... I mean, I would not say OLEDs are better. That's just they aren't. I mean, CRTs have things that only they can do. That I did not mean to imply that, because I think I would guess that a majority of people actually watching this stream would say that CRTs are bad. I just said me and my lazy self normally plays on the OLED because it's bigger. I can sit in the more comfortable chair. Colors, black levels, in my opinion, I think better. But the look of a CRT is what these classic consoles are all about, and obviously we emphasize it heavily in our episodes. And with OLED, you've got concerns of potential burn-in and stuff like that. CRTs. Obviously we're a huge fan of the CRT aesthetic. I would not take that from what. It sounds like you made the right device. You made the right device for a CRT, Do you
want to read this for love of the game? Since sounds like it's like the song with $5 saying "Brr,
okay.
yeah,
I can do this one. Cruising, yeah, Cruis'n USA, yeah, boo doo 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 doo. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's how it goes.
This video came out. I mean, it's just about, was it like 5 years ago now? Because I remember it came out when we were at MagFest.
Oh, that's right. I mean, that's a pretty old video. Matt Booty? Is that the Matt Booty of Sony? Or no, Microsoft. He works at Microsoft. Is that the Matt Booty?
There's $2 from Love of the Game saying, try those amazing. Realer than real.
Well, thank you. I agree. There can only be one Matt Booty, so.
Speaking of this, I really still gotta get around to watching that Insert Coin documentary. Now it's on Amazon and everything.
Oh, which one is that?
That's the Midway in the 90s or 80s.
Okay.
80s and 90s documentary.
Cool. Well,
is that gonna do it? Is that gonna do it for tonight?
I guess that will do it for tonight.
There's $2 from Ashuro saying, thank you for that amazing HD remaster drive.
Someone should do a hack of that song, and with the updated vocals by me.
There's $5 from Benacera saying, Happy New Year's. Thank you to everyone and MLiG for making these streams so awesome. Starting off the new year right. Tries agonizing screams and all. Thank you. And $5 from Justin C saying, good job, Try.
Well, I didn't get as far in Bomberman 64 as I hoped I might tonight, but always feels good to complete a run of Cruis'n USA. I gotta say.
We'll see about the beard thing. I don't know.
I mean, I regularly go like 2 weeks without shaving, so I mean,
I do too.
Some people say that's a beard, but it's the manifestation of laziness is all it is to me. Beard implies intent, right?
Yes, it does. Oh, and $25 from Wesley Hall. Thank you.
Oh,
saying grow beards. We'll do our best. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't.
if I have the lights on low, my scruff looks more beard-like. So maybe I'll just have to do that sometime.
And bring back the funny hats. I'll have funny hats and
Oh yeah.
I'll bring back funny hats, a stogie, a beard, and I'll be Donald Ducking it below camera.
I mean, well, we got to come up with some way to keep ourselves sane and entertained during the last pandemic months, right?
Yeah.
We hope. All right. Good night, everyone.
And don't forget tomorrow we're gonna be.
Oh, yep.
You wanna let everybody know?
2 p.m. Eastern time with John Linneman on our channel, Grandia PS1 on the PS1 digital versus Saturn Grandia, presumably on RGB.
Yes.
So till tomorrow.
Oh, there is one last donation from Ricky Pond saying, "Great stream tonight. Don't know how I feel about being called Daddy Pond during it, considering I'm 23. Had fun and looking forward to joining more."
You were asking for it with your of course your name is spelled different than the Ricky of Xenoblade, so I guess
okay.
I guess you could be a different Ricky Pon than Ricky Pon of Xenoblade Chronicles. you could just be Little Pon for all I know.
Yeah.
Little Pon.
I also want to throw out really quick, if anybody has Xbox Gold, definitely make it a point to download King of Fighters 13, which is like the free Xbox 360 game that they have available this month. Because you get to keep it even after even if your subscription expires.
Mhm.
And the sprite work in that game is insane.
Okay.
Just want to throw that out there so I don't forget. Or did you already stop it? No, you didn't stop it. Anyways, thanks to everybody who donated, and we'll see you tomorrow.